Hello there, everyone out there, my little misfits, my readers and rampant heathens. How are you doing? I am well, and it is Friday for me. Your experience may differ, but Friday is always fundamentalist fails time, and this time, I have someone to blame. Yes, I have someone to blame. Eric Wanda, I blame you. Yes, Eric Wanda sent in a video. If you're unaware, if this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. It's always good to see new people. And what we're doing is going through some of the outrageous claims and confusion that exists out there in fundamentalist theism, and sort of just having a laugh and having a look through, and maybe even addressing some problematic things. But, we're just reviewing and seeing what their claims and their sort of things that they've said holds any weight or has any humor for us to find, which usually they do have, because fundamentalists is sort of always do this kind of thing. And Pinworm, thank you so much. How are you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, B. So Pinworm for $2 US. Hope all is well with you, Mark. Yes, thank you. I was feeling a little bit off a couple of days ago, but I'm doing fine. Thanks, Pinworm. I really appreciate it, mate. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what that was. It wasn't really flu or anything. I think it might just been a slight cold that just gummed me up a little. It wasn't anything major at all. Like somebody said, oh, maybe it's the new sort of bird flu. That no, I didn't have any of the symptoms. It was fine. It was all good. I survived, as we usually do. But yeah, kind of sucks. But I don't know. I really hate not doing my work when I'm sick. I did take it easy, so please rest assured. Hey, left-handed Jedi, good to see you. Andrew, always good to see you. Yeah, Austin, so good I'm glad you're here, because this is sort of right up Austin's alley. Which Austin, if you don't know, is one of our sort of debaters. He does debate against fundamentalists as well. So go and check out Austin. And thank you so much for sending that in, Pinworm, because it actually reminds me. Oh, your allergies? Oh, you know what? You're gonna hate me, LHJ. You're really gonna hate me. I don't know. Like, I've never been allergic to anything. Maybe some camel hair, I think, maybe. But like, I honestly, like, I don't get hay fever. I don't get allergic to anything. I'm kind of just one of those people with like zero allergies. See, Kalasia, so good to see you. Oh, I always love talking to Kalasia. You know what? The only thing that the line is fantastic where Kalasia mods. The only thing that annoys me is the slow mode, because I can't talk as much as I want to talk, and that's the only thing that annoys me. But it's always good to see you over there, mate. And Kalasia, thank you so much. Became a member. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That is awesome. Yeah. I do feel lucky. But the thing is, my wife is allergic to everything under the sun. So it's Kalasia, thank you so much with 5 readerships. And let me do. Hey, this suits. I can use my announcer voice. As it is for this one, because it is sort of an MMA episode. So it's Zachary Giannieri, Sven Gurosan, Adam Scott, Threatened Sanity, and Havoc Imbimos. Solar Cycle, baby. Left-handed Jive for 12 months says 1 solar cycle, baby. Yeah, right on. But, the sun is definitely going around the Earth. But thank you so much, Kalasia. I really appreciate it. And while you've done that reminds me, and I was going to say thank you to Pinworm, because that reminds me that it's a new month, and I can't forget I've got things to give out in the new month. Did I say Adam Scott? I think I did. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy your emotes and other benefits if you are here, if you're not. You know what? I wish it would prioritize the people that are actually here in the chat. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you give out memberships, it should target the people that are in the chat first. Because they're going to be the people that, are around. I wish that it would prioritize them. I'm going to send that in as a suggestion, quite frankly. I think I'm going to do that. But I do have membership gifting at the moment, so I'll see if I can be awesome and hit Andrew. Like, I'm aiming for Andrew, so like if I hit Andrew, I am absolutely on target. Ready? Are you ready for this? Come on. Pow, pow. Let's go. Did I hit him? Did I hit him? Wicker Man, Kin. That's a no. That's a no. Come on. Come on. I'm so sorry, Andrew. I suck. I couldn't. No, I didn't. Oh. Oh, is that how Twitch works, Kalasia? I didn't know that. I'm not a huge twitchy person. I see the problem with Twitch for me, and I've got nothing against Twitch. I like Twitch. It's just every time I watch somebody that is in another country, and for an Australian, that's just about everybody. It just has horrible buffering problems. I dislike it immensely just because of that. You know, just because of that. I really dislike it just because of the buffering, and I'm not sure what that is. But it's annoying, and so I've never really gotten into it. Okay, and those hit the Wicker Man, Kin, Crimson Air, Lunchbox, Jimmy H. Enjoy your image. Oh, and Left-Handed Jedi for another 5 readerships. Jedi, you're awesome. Did you hit Andrew? No. You hit Shane though. That's a good shot. You can gift memberships individually on Twitch. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we both tried. Look, we need Robin in here or something, quite frankly, because she's always hitting the right person. And that went out to Sonic Shroom, Shane Billowitz, Grim Skepticism, Orgasmatron. Wow, that's a name. That's awesome. Carla J. Enjoy your emotes and other benefits. Winners, chicken dinners. And in the blue corner, in the very blue trunks, we have Left-Handed Jedi. And in the red corner, with very red trunks, we have Yahweh. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Spielkep. I think that it should prioritize the people in the stream first, quite frankly. I really wish it would. I think that's a really good idea, and it would hit the people that are consistently there, at least most of the time. Hello, Marty. Good to see you. But today, so I mean, I've basically had an interesting couple of days. I think that this was given in by Eric Wander, and I want to give a huge shout out to Eric Wander because he found one of the weirdest people ever. Like this guy is yeah. Hello to Germany. Hello to all the Germans. But I want to talk, just before we start and watch the video, I want to talk about, so yesterday I kind of got up and found out that America is currently threatening Greenland, which is a weird statement to make. Like, it's just weird to say that out loud. Is that weird for anybody else? Like, not explicitly, but implicitly threatening Greenland, which is just so weird. So if you're unaware, Greenland isn't a sovereign state. It actually is a part of Denmark. So by extension, the United States of America is implicitly threatening Denmark. Now, the important thing you've got to remember about this is that Denmark isn't all by itself strategically. Okay, it's not just a little bunch of islands. It's part of the EU. It's part of the EU. So Denmark has strategic allies with England. Well, not England anymore. They left the EU. But Germany, France, you know, all of the member states of the EU. Spain. What is going on? Like, seriously, this is insane. You know, and to not rule out military action was just insane. I think that he's just I think he's just really just trying to threaten his way into getting stuff. It's very, very, very strange. But is Trump behind that behind the threat? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he said that Greenland was important strategically for the United States, and when they asked if he would rule out military action, he said, no, I won't rule that out. So yeah. Give me 1 sec. I'll see if I can find a video of it. So yeah, I know this isn't what I promised. I will get to it, but I just want to show this because it's it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah, and he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico like the Gulf of America or something. It's really it's so strange. Like it's just crazy strange. Well, Austin, technically yes, but that Congress didn't declare war in the Iraq War. That's the thing. Like, yes, that is technically the case, but like in actual practice, Vietnam wasn't passed through Congress, and neither was the Iraq War wasn't passed through Congress. Hold on a sec. I'll just share this because it's kind of interesting. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, this wasn't what I was gonna do today, but when you've sort of got something on your mind, you get up and United States is threatening other democracies. It's kind of weird. Like, it is weird. Okay, it's just strange.
Your position is clear, but have you directed your staff to take specific actions to drop plans? And can you elaborate again? You didn't rule out military coercion.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen. And if Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States. But if they did do that, then I would tariff Denmark at a very high level.
You asked your staff to draw plans for acquisition. I mean, are you active?
No, we're not at that stage, but we have people. I haven't even entered office yet.
Yeah, and he did not rule out military force. So look, a lot of the stuff Trump says is just posturing and the Chinese ships that he's talking about and the Russian ships are usually trade ships. Like, they don't have a huge presence militarily, but it seems like he doesn't like their ships being in international waters, which is weird to say the least. It's strange. It's so odd. It's insane. I don't understand what is going on. I don't understand what is going on. Like, I get that he postures a lot, but this is weird. This is so weird. Like, because he's not threatening Denmark. He's threatening the EU, the European Union, the sort of second largest, sort of military power in the world, probably. Or third largest. I don't even know what he's doing. It's very, very strange. It's very strange. But yeah, and look, the guy has been in office like a week and already it's utter chaos. I don't even know what's going on. Like, seriously, I just let's not go down that route. You know, if anyone wants to move to Australia, it's great here. We've got, you know, we've got stuff. We've got roos and koalas, and you know, at least when our sort of native inhabitants try and kill you, they're only doing it to defend themselves, quite frankly. So you know, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So, but today we've got an MMA fighter, and Austin is absolutely right. He basically entered the ring with essentially Bible in hand is what he did. So I'll try and find that video. I didn't have it pulled up, but I think it might be funny because the man has been watching way too much, way too much movies. Just way too much movies, quite frankly. It's actually pretty weird. So speaking of weirdness, it's going to get weirder today. It really will. It really will. Let's put that main screen. Let me get organized. Yep. Okay. Share screen. So this is Bryce Mitchell coming into the ring on one of his fights, and this is hilarious. So just one sec.
His opponent fighting out of the red corner. At 5 feet 10 inches tall, this mixed martial artist also weighed in 146 pounds. In 17 fights, his record 15 victories with 2 defeats. Fighting out of Searcy, Arkansas, he is the UFC's
Yeah, so that's Bryce Mitchell doing a excellent rendition of Braveheart. Obviously channeling Mel Gibson in more ways than one. So yeah, that is, he's been watching too many movies. He caught Braveheart too many times and decided he was going to yell freedom in the octagon for some reason. I don't know. It's very, very strange. Yeah, Bible walkout. That is true. That was actually a Bible walkout. Now, this isn't the first time I've seen that kind of thing. There was a guy very early on in the sort of MMA's history that came out on a cross, and he tried to use a crucifix-based move on one of the contenders, and he got his ass absolutely beat. Yeah, and I found that weird too, Austin, that you know, people that pride themselves on being the flock and lambs and followers of God, like, you know, slaves to God, sort of, you know, that they're happy, they're so happy, and yet they think they're the freest ever. It's very, very strange. It's really strange. I don't get it personally, but you know, there it is. So this is an interview he was doing. And again, I want to give a big shout out to Eric Wander. I wish he was here today, but that's okay. Eric Wander, you are a champ, sent this through, and buckle up, homies. It's gonna get great.
To Jesus Christ. How did that happen? Typically an event happens, you have a good experience or a bad experience, and then eventually you're like, okay, here's why I'm doing it. How did it happen for you?
I would love to share this experience with you. I think that you might be one of the people that believes me the most. I've heard your testimony. That's actually why I started watching your content, is because you shared your testimony.
And I'm sorry to the southern, like, I'm so sorry. Robin's just turned up. Hello, Robin. So good to see you. And I'm so sorry, but his accent is perfect for this. Like, his accent is just icing on the cake. And I look, I know that everyone from the South doesn't do this kind of nonsense, but it seems like a lot of people from the South do, and it plays into my expectations, quite frankly. So I'm really sorry, Robin. The Southern accent is perfect for this guy. Yeah.
But I think that we're in the same category of, we had supernatural testimonies. Yeah, and your testimony is 100% supernatural. Your mom
So supernatural testimonies. This is the thing that it's supernatural things.
Calls right after you heard
That's
Jesus
right.
Christ.
Yep.
Supernatural.
Yep.
There's not a scientific explanation. You know it.
Biggest fear in my body when that happens. I'm like, somebody's actually listening.
You know it.
Yep.
I know it. I
Yep.
believe every word you said. And there's going to be people out there that don't believe it. I
Mhm.
don't care. I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I don't care if you call me the brain damage MMA fighter.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that so MMA. I've had a. I don't know. I mean, I have loved MMA in the past. I have seen reports about how it does do a lot of damage to these fighters, and that concerns me. Whether so we really want to talk about acceptable levels of risk kind of thing. So is it too risky? People who do certain things, they are risky behaviors. Like, for instance, skydiving, a lot of people get hurt, or base jumping, a lot of people get hurt rather. MMA, yeah, people can get hurt, but if they're taking on that risk, I don't really see a problem with it. It does concern me that a lot of these guys are coming out with brain injuries, essentially. They've been concussed too many times. They can barely put words together. That does concern me. I think that there needs to be a lot more oversight from an independent medical commission, maybe, to say, hey, you can't fight anymore because you are harming yourself. I think that needs to be done. And same with boxing, Austin. Same with boxing. I think there's got to be an independent medical commission that's responsible for the welfare of fighters. I think that, I don't really have a problem, but, I think boxing's the same. It's just I've never been a fan of boxing. Never really gotten into it. I've been a fan of MMA for a long while. Since the Gracie's started on it, which was like the very first ones kind of thing. And I really are revisiting it and thinking again because of the damage that it's doing to people. I don't think it's very good. I think that, look, the only sport I really care about now is robot fighting, and no human gets harmed in robot fighting, as far as I know.
I am, but I can still tell you my testimony. Okay. I am a stupid hillbilly, but I can tell you what I've seen. I've seen a demon casted out in the name of Jesus Christ.
Did you though? Because we'll get to this demon story. Don't make any mistakes, but you are claiming you saw a demon get casted out. I'm not sure if that's the correct tense there, but casted out in the name of Jesus Christ. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's what he has seen.
And nothing short of that. That is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I was going out with the chick for a little bit over a year. We break up and then get back together, break up, get
he's going out with a chick. Yeah, way to bust that regressive hillbilly stereotype that you placed yourself in. Okay.
Back together, and she was just real wicked and real evil. But one day she was extremely evil. She come over, she started killing my tomato plants, and it was actually she was coming over to get her stuff.
Yeah, you can always tell a demon's about, but tomato plants aren't safe. Demons notoriously hate tomato plants. Notoriously. That's smell of brimstone and your tomato plants, being destroyed. That's how you know there's a demon around.
And she said, I wasn't even going to let her in. I had all of her stuff packed up as her clothes and just junk, So I had it all bagged up, and I said, look, I'm going to hand you all your stuff over the gate, and you just sit in your car. I'm going to hand it to you. This was going to be our last encounter ever. So the demon kind of knew this. And before this experience, remember, I'm an atheist. I'm convinced we come.
Did you mean like the demon as in the girl, like the very human woman in front of you? The very human woman in front of you knew that was yeah.
I'm from monkeys because the public education destroyed me. It led me in such an awful direction. I believe we come from monkeys. I believe there's no God, there's no demons, there's no nothing. We just die and that's it. This life is all about finding pleasure.
Okay. Stop. So I'm an atheist and I believed we came from monkeys. Okay, so for a start, it kind of tells me that you don't. like he's not 100% wrong, but the sort of, he doesn't understand evolution, because we didn't, like, when you say monkeys, you're really talking about old world monkeys, which are not the same as the monkeys we have today. They're more basal simiiforms. So it would be more accurate to say we came from earlier simian origins. Like, so simians are a very wide range of monkey-like animals. So when you say we came from monkeys, they conflate with, you know, the monkeys in the zoo who are, you know, have tails and all of that kind of thing. Oh boy. But to sort of say, hey, I just live for my pleasure, okay, that's something you can do, but not all atheists are like that. That doesn't make you an atheist. It's very, very strange. I feel like perhaps this guy sort of, you know, he probably had a religious upbringing, rebelled against it, but never actually, like, said I was an atheist, but never, I don't know whether he was an atheist or not, because very rarely will you get atheists that say, oh, well, I believe they came from monkeys. Well, you certainly didn't understand evolution. I don't know why. It's very strange, you know, very strange thing to say.
You know, that's what I thought. So I said, okay, I'm going to hand you your stuff and you leave. She said, well, just let me come in and get my stuff. So I let her in the gate. You know, she talked me into it. And I said, okay, well, you can come pick up your stuff and load it in your carpet and you got to leave. Well, as soon as she gets in the gate, all hell broke loose. And I mean, quite literally, she just started killing my plants. She started 17 tomatoes.
Okay, so that's, wow, this guy knows what happens in hell. And apparently it is tomato plants being destroyed. Okay, so if you want to know what's hell like, it's just fields of tomato plants being destroyed, because he said all hell broke loose. Literally, she started destroying my tomato plants. I thought in hell there was torture. Maybe he doesn't know what literally means. Maybe he's using literally metaphorically. Man, it's too much. It's too much. Eric, I blame you.
Plants. She just started boom, 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 just smashing up.
How old are you at this time?
Probably about 22.
Okay.
Maybe even older than that. I can't remember. I've been hit quite a few times, but it feels like yesterday. Okay, I remember it very clearly. And then she got.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've probably been hit a lot of times, and that's not to rule out your story. I believe that a woman came over. You were breaking up with her. She, you know, got angry, killed your tomato plants. I just, how do you know this is a demon? Like, this is the thing. It seems like he's just going, well, I don't like this, so call the police. Call the police.
And I told her, just chill out. You need to just go away and just calm down, you know? And so she goes into the garage, and then I hear glass breaking, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, what's going on in there? So I go into the garage and she's breaking glass, and I said, what are you doing? And then the first thing that was weird to me is she said, we didn't do anything. And I was thinking, wait a second, did I hear her just say we? You know, like she's referring to herself as we. And I thought that was weird, but I thought maybe I misheard her.
I mean, there's other explanations. She could be talking poetically. She could have DID. I don't know why we didn't do anything. Is she talking about you and her? I don't know. Is this accurate? I don't know.
And so then I'm just kind of like thinking about that, and I'm saying, look, you really need to leave. But then she starts speaking in tongues to a wall. And so then at that moment, because I grew up Southern Baptist, but I never actually had Christ in my heart. But my Mimi, my Papa, my mom, everybody told me about
your Mimi, your Papa, and your mom. Okay, that's kind of adorable, but wow. This is you know, I don't know what this is. This is, you know, I think calling the police and saying, hey, I have somebody in my house who appears to be mentally ill, and I really need you to come and remove them, would probably be a really good idea at this point. Not, oh, there's obviously a demonic possession. She was probably French. Yeah, no, I gotcha, Andrew. That's a really good point, mate. She was probably just French. And like, it just sit there at the wall, murdered. She's speaking in tongues.
Jesus Christ. Everybody told me about demons. I knew it from the time I was little to now. I mean, my mom and my Mimi, they made sure I knew that Jesus was real, but I never accepted Jesus.
So you're basically saying you were indoctrinated towards Jesus. You saw something that you could not explain and you immediately went to supernatural things that you've been taught about. Gee, funny that. It's weird how that happens, right? That the things that you're taught about as you're a child, you immediately go there as an explanation. It's almost like you're indoctrinated or something. Incredible.
But when I seen her speaking in tongues, not even looking at me, just looking at a wall, that's when I knew, and I could actually feel the presence of a demon, and it felt like just so much fear hit me at once. That I was just like, I was really disgusted, because at that point I knew that demons are real, and that I'd actually invited one into my house. And even though I was an atheist.
Well, I'm pretty sure that demons can be removed with police, trespassing them. I don't know what this is. This is like, even if we take the story as true, there is nothing whatsoever that says this is a demon besides my feelings. That's basically what he said. I felt like it was a demon.
I never wanted to tamper with any darkness ever. Even though, like, when I was an atheist, I still wouldn't touch a Ouija board, even though I said none of that crap.
Yeah. Atheists famously afraid of Ouija boards and the spiritual realm that they represent. Famously. And this is the thing. This is what makes me think he was never an atheist, because if he was an atheist, who cares about Ouija board? I'll touch a Ouija board. I'll Ouija all day long. It doesn't matter. It's not real. It doesn't. Like, the only thing that makes that Ouija board real is your own mind. That's the only thing. There's no power there. It's so weird that you'll have someone saying, well, I was an atheist, but I wouldn't mess with any of those demonic forces. Yes, he said he grew up religious. Yeah. And so, but he claims to be an atheist. He didn't believe in any of that stuff, but he still had these superstitions. So the indoctrination that was given to him when younger was still telling him, hey, don't touch Ouija boards. Don't touch any of this spiritual stuff. It's bad. It's bad mojo. So, I don't think he was out of it.
It was real. I still had this.
You've never played it?
Oh, hell no. I don't mess with Ouija boards, witchcraft books. I don't throw salt over my shoulders. I don't light candles up and do none of that funky stuff. I don't do that stuff. And always knew not to do that, even though I didn't believe in it. I knew. But right when I knew that that's a demon.
Why would you not believe in that stuff yet still be afraid of it? It really sounds like deep down he really still did believe in it, at least on a level where he's like, no, I'm not going to do that because it could be true. Somebody that is an atheist, look, so there's nothing stopping you from being an atheist and still believing in demons or spirits, as long as it's not tied to a god. The reason why we get so skeptical about people that believe in demons is because demons are intrinsically, they're kind of linked to a god figure. But, if you believe in some kind of evil supernatural spirit, you can be an atheist because doesn't necessarily point to a god. But the problem is that he's trying to use this, well, I was an atheist, so I didn't believe in all of that, and say, well, I was still afraid of it, which means that he at least believed that it was a risk. So I guess that my problem here is that he still was not a skeptic. He still wasn't a person that he's trying to use this word of atheist as saying, hey, I was skeptical and I didn't believe in all this stuff. But he did. It doesn't make him not an atheist. But he shouldn't be using, I was an atheist as a reason why you should take him seriously on his God claim.
And all this stuff is real. Just a ton of fear hit me. And I remembered, of course, what did Mimi always say? What did Mom always say? And I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave. And this is after, now this whole argument has took place over the course of a little bit over an hour. And it was screaming and F you and get out of my house and get the F out and all that stuff. I'm making a fool of myself. I'm screaming, get out. She will not leave. And people think, oh, well, why didn't you call law on her? Well, I told her, I said, look, I'm going to have to call law on you if you don't leave. And she said, look, I'm going to stab myself.
Okay. I don't, right? So they're saying self-harm. So you've got somebody threatening self-harm in your house, which is you know, that's not an indication of demons. That's an indication of mental health issues. Even if this story is true, that doesn't mean demon. It says mental health issues. You know, at that point, you should be calling the police. You should be calling the authorities.
And when I get here, I'm going to tell them you did it.
What?
You're going to go to prison. You're going to lose every sponsor you had. The UFC is going to cut you.
Holy shit.
I'm going to take everything from you. She's
No, you won't. No. Like, how is she going to get your fingerprints on whatever she stabs herself with? How is she going to get blood splatters onto you? What? No. What? They can't just like stab themselves and say, hey, that guy over there with absolutely nothing on his hands and has not, you know, done anything. Like, you can't. What? This is weird. This is so weird. And you can usually tell, like, they can tell, forensics can tell, like, the angle of the knife kind of thing, like whether somebody did it or not. There's a ton of reasons why. And I don't believe this, even if that story is true, I don't believe they would have. I think that this person has serious mental health issues and they're threatening it. It's time to call the authorities at that point.
said, I will take everything from you. She said, you go ahead and call the law. Call them, because I'm going to stab myself. So I'm sitting here. I can't call the law. I don't know what to do at this point. And then she starts speaking in tongues. And I said,
yeah, that's when you go to another room, you call the police, lock yourself in a room, and then wait for the police. Like, you've already made the call to 911. Why would you stab someone and then call the police to say, hey, there's a crazy person in my house? And when they get there, you've got no blood on you whatsoever. Your hands, there's no defensive wounds on her. There's nothing on your hands. There's nothing on your clothes. At that point, they're going to go, well, he called us up about this crazy woman. He hasn't been anywhere near her. Like, this is so weird. I don't know. Like, it's kind of like this weird ass story that nothing makes sense.
Name of Jesus Christ, I command any evil to leave. And at that moment, I felt the Holy Spirit. I had the full authority of Jesus Christ because I spoke the name of Jesus. Even though I'm this rotten sinner who's hated Jesus his whole life because I didn't know him, the second I turned to Jesus Christ, that demon was casted out and she's gone.
Or alternatively, she could have just seen a crazy person yelling Jesus at her and thought, this guy's capable of anything. Maybe. I don't know. It's just, there's nothing in that says, like, A, that the demon was involved. Like, what about that says there's demons involved? Nothing. And B, that this is actually because of the power of a god. Yeah, or it's just a load of horse crap. Yeah, that's true as well.
I'm looking at your first fight is 2015, January 24, 2015, Sheldon Smith. Okay, so when is this now? What is this 2016, 2017?
This is probably a couple months before the Edson Barbosa fight. And the reason that in that Barbosa fight, I remember this is because
that's 2 years ago.
Okay, that's only 2 years ago.
Are you kidding? So this just happened 2 years ago.
Well, it might have been a little bit more than two. It feels like 3 or 4.
Got it. Okay.
It's Edson Barbosa.
Okay.
But it's not very long ago.
All right.
And after that fight, or I'm sorry, on the way out, because that demon had manifested, I'm no longer talking to the person. I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave. She looks at me and she says, you will have 3 children. They will all die and you will lose every fight for the rest of you. So she cursed my family.
What? So you think that she's cursing you? Okay. This is so wild. Like, seriously, this is so weird. So there's sort of this idea about curses, and curses generally, and a lot of them exist through a lot of different cultures. In Australia, the Aboriginal tribes have a curse of something called pointing the bone. They basically point a bone at somebody and that person is supposed to die. in a certain time after having it done. But the thing is that it doesn't generally work on people that aren't in that culture. Generally, it's like the what is it? Help me out, Austin. Some Mac or whatever, the touch of death stuff, that they can paralyze somebody with their touch. It doesn't work on people that don't believe in it. That's the thing. All of these are suggestions. That it's suggestion behavior. So these curses, they kind of are they're basically like a dim muck. Yeah, thanks, Austin. They're a psychosomatic response, right? They're sort of convincing somebody that this will happen, and either A, their state of mind causes their body to reflect it, because your mind is actually quite powerful. And yeah, placebo effect in reverse kind of thing, of course, but you're right, Andrew. And it's got a psychosomatic effect. It's like when your mind thinks you're sick, you will actually be sick. Now, a lot of people misinterpret this and go, well, if I just don't believe I'm sick, I won't be. No, it doesn't work like that. But your body can exhibit changes based upon your mental state. Or the person just uses confirmation bias. When somebody says, oh, you're cursed and you shall have misfortune, everything that goes wrong, they say, oh, well, yeah, that's confirmed, while ignoring all of the things that don't go wrong. So curses have absolutely no effect whatsoever. So the fact that, oh, she cursed me and because I used Jesus, I was fine, that isn't that isn't a thing. That isn't a thing. Yeah, no, he's a first creationist. Yeah, anti-vax. Yeah. Yes, and he's also, and I got to bring this up, and I'll bring this up now. I cut out bits because he's also wildly anti-Semitic, like wildly so. So I cut that out of here because, it's kind of gross, like grosser than what he has normally. So he's a complete idiot who's also a bit of a bigot, and of course bigoted towards gay people and stuff. So he's an idiot, an absolute idiot.
And she cursed my fighting career right before she left. And I'm not talking like curse words like F you. And I'm talking,
I get it.
She cursed. Yeah. She cursed my family to die. And she cursed my fighting career, that I would be dead in the cage. She cursed me. And I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, you'll do nothing. Because at that point, that second, I became a Christian, because I seen what that name of Jesus Christ, if you just simply speak the name of Jesus, it will cast out demons. And I'm not telling you because I think it. I'm telling you I know it because I've lived it. I've seen it. And people don't believe me because I'm a dumb hillbilly. But I'm telling you, this is what happened. It's a 100%. There's not any other percent chance that anything other than the name of Jesus got that woman out of my life.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Taekwondo falls in that one, Austin. Taekwondo is a Korean martial art. It's about kicking mostly. I don't think you've maybe, karate? No, some forms, yeah, I get you, but I'm not 100% sure. Karate can be quite effective if it is just the fighting thing. But there is a problem in China at the moment, that China is promoting its traditional martial arts as being the best in the world. And unfortunately, MMA is significantly superior to traditional fighting styles, because basically MMA was based upon taking the best things out of various martial arts, whatever is effective, and combining them together. So there is a guy in China who is using MMA, and he's not even a fantastic MMA fighter, but he's challenging these kung fu masters to fights and absolutely beating them down, because MMA, unlike sort of these traditional Chinese martial arts, is about whatever works. So they'll take the kicking and kneeing and elbows from kickboxing. They will take the striking from boxing and karate and other various striking forms. They will take the wrestling and ground from Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's kind of just the sort of and I guess what this guy's doing is he's trying to show that the traditional martial arts in China have become too much about flourish and sort of show and all of these useless moves. In fact, Bruce Lee was kind of angling at that himself, saying that there's too much of just performance rather than actual effectiveness. But this guy's going around challenging traditional martial arts in China, and the Chinese government is absolutely hating on him because he is just like these masters. He's absolutely just annihilating them. And he's not even a brilliant MMA fighter. He's good, don't get me wrong. But he certainly wouldn't be able to, take a belt in America. But he's really cool because he's basically showing that these traditional martial arts, they've got nothing. Like they've got nothing. His name is Zhu Xiaodong. Zhu Xiaodong. If you want to look him up, he's had multiple fights against these, Tai Chi masters and these Kung Fu masters, and just absolutely rickrolled them. It's really fascinating. And I want to mention something, and the reason why, and I see Eric Wanda. Eric, thank you so much for sending this through. This is all due to Eric. I gave you a credit in the description, but I couldn't link you. But please, if you do want me to, I can link your channel, because Eric did send this one through, and it is a cracker. I don't know whether to be happy or angry at you, Eric, which is usually the best place to be when it comes to fundamentalist fails. You know what? Subscribe to Eric. There we go. So yeah, I will update the description with your channel. Really good, mate. This is the kind of insanity that I love to see. But I want to talk about fake martial arts for a second, and why. I'll explain why. Okay, because it's very, very important that we sort of we look at this. And Dim Mac, yeah, it's called the touch of death kind of thing. So I want to find a clip of it, so we can sort of see. And there's one guy who is sort of famous for it. Yeah, it's kind of supposed to be a death touch martial art. And okay, give me one sec. I got the perfect one here. Okay. All right, so this is Dim Mak, George Dillman, which is just a hilarious name for a guy who's doing fake martial arts, to be honest with you.
This so-called power led him to be labeled the human sun gun. But you ask, does it work, Danielle? We headed out to his Palos Heights studio to check out his superhero-like strengths. We also brought along 2 trained medical professionals for safety.
Yeah, you're really going to need them.
Sure enough, his students went down, and our EMTs confirmed something funny was going on.
Yep.
They're dilated.
His heart went up a little bit?
Went up a little bit.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, when somebody who is not a believer, a disciple, does it.
We asked Tom to try it on someone other than his students, like us.
Gosh, you're scared. Relax. I'm not going to hurt you.
He refused to try the touchless knockout on me, saying he thought I may get hurt.
If you touch this...
Instead, he used a light tap technique to affect my nervous system. Wait, you just hit me in the head. We were less than stunned by this stun guns demonstration, so we had Tom try it again on jiu-jitsu students at the Extreme Fitplex downtown.
Feel any heat? Feel any lightheadedness at all? Not really.
And once again,
Yeah, I don't even feel it. Good moving on you.
I got hit in the head a lot.
the results were less than stunning.
He's not going to go.
Tom says only about 40% of people are susceptible to.
Yeah. So this is the reason why I bring this up is because it has parallels on what religion does. Okay. So like I was talking, psychosomatic effects, basically your brain telling your body to do certain things. And Eric knows where I'm going with this. Like when an evangelical person hits their audience when they're in an emotional and mental frame, it basically causes them to fall over stunned. And that is they are doing it to themselves. And which is why this kind of stuff does not work on people that don't believe it. But if people so believe it, that they're so convinced it will work, it will work because they believe it works and their brain will tell them to do that. Is it fraudulent? Maybe. I mean, it's fraudulent on the part of the instructor. Are the students being fraudulent? Maybe. It's sort of that self-delusion that, oh, this definitely does work, when it doesn't. It really doesn't. Oh, hey, human girl, good to see you. Yeah, exactly. A preacher casting out demons, absolutely. And it's tied to the same psychosomatic responses, the same thing of getting people in a certain mental state and then agitating that state to produce, for them to affect themselves, right? It's really, really weird, like really, really, really strange. But it does work. It absolutely does work. So, you know, we know that psychosomatic illness can occur if you're incredibly stressed, if you're incredibly agitated, if you're incredibly afraid. It can actually affect the body negatively. And so when we look at these things, right, we look at these kind of, well, this miracle occurred in front of me. You know, you've got to wonder how much it is the mind telling them that this worked, that they felt like it worked, and therefore that's what they see, that they are convincing themselves that's what they saw. It's actually sort of, you know, it's all a scam.
And from then on, that's why I care so much about Jesus Christ, because he saved my life. And now look, I have a wife and I have a kid. Do you think I would have a wife and kids and be sitting in this chair today if I didn't speak the name of Jesus Christ?
Yes. Yes. I think if you worked hard at MMA, found somebody who you loved and respected and had sex with them unprotected, which, you know, is probably, you know, that's the way we have children. I think you would have a wife and kids and an MMA career. I don't know if you'd be sitting in that exact chair, because I understand it. PBD is a very religious thing, but it's so weird.
In a snowball chance in hell, I would have been tortured by my own sinful nature. I wouldn't, but now I'm obedient to God. Now I have a wife. Now I have a kid. Look how much better it is when you submit to God and live by the word.
You know, and there's plenty of atheists with wives and kids, right? There's tons of them. Like, in a sort of a country that's not particularly Christian, how do you think they procreate? Like, you take some of the sort of Scandinavian countries like Sweden and Norway. How do you think they get children? Do you think no one gets married there? I'm so baffled as to why he thinks that atheists don't get married and have children. It's so weird. I mean, I have chosen not to have kids. That's a personal choice. Why would you think this? I know many atheists with what?
God, just look at my life. It's proof that God exists.
So
your life is not proof God exists. You know, it's fun fact. You can get married, have children, and have an MMA career without God. You don't need it.
So let me, and by the way, thank you for sharing that. So when you look at the leaders and events that has been done, where you say, no, that's not my guy. Those people are destroying America. These people are the good guys. How do you decipher between the good guys and the bad guys?
Well, I have the gift of discernment that
So if asked that question, I would be like, okay, well, how do I determine who's the good guys and bad guys? Right. Well, I would have a criteria such as, well, those people that are doing things for the well-being of other humans would be the good guys, and people that are doing things for harming humans and harming our environment, harming all these things and harming us would be bad guys. He basically goes, I have the gift of discernment. How does that work exactly? Because it sounds like when you talk about the gift of discernment, what it sounds like is they just look at stuff and go, yeah, I feel this way about it. They just basically use their fifis.
Comes from the Holy Spirit. It didn't take me very long to really like you. You know, when I listen to you, I just have discernment. I can sit here and tell you who I think the worst of the worst is and who I think the best of the best is. I think I naturally have that gift.
So this is why Christians get scammed so often. This is why they get scammed, because they basically look at someone and go, do I feel like I can trust them? If I can, well, I've got the gift of discernment. I can. We're all wrong about people. So what do you do if you're wrong? Have you ever been wrong? Have you ever thought someone was a good guy and they turn out to be a complete a-hole? You know, I really would like to ask this question to him, because where was the gift sermon on that one? I don't understand. I really don't, because it's just sort of, well, I just feel whether they're good or bad. But you have the same hit rate for, you know, sort of knowing whether someone's good and bad off your initial reaction as anybody else.
You know, for example, it's a little bit off topic, but for example, somebody that has fooled everybody, but he simply cannot fool me, Elon Musk. You know,
Elon Musk.
Absolutely. I think that he could possibly be, now I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but based off of what I think, he could possibly be the false prophet who presents the mark of the beast to the world and presents the Antichrist on the world stage. I mean, that's how evil I think he is. Now, let's back this up with a little bit of scripture.
Well, I mean, Cybertrucks look pretty evil. He's got me there. He's got me there. Cybertrucks look evil. I don't know. Like, Elon Musk is a complete and utter tool, but I don't know why he would be the prophet of the beast kind of thing. It seems really weird.
We can rest assured that Revelation has started. Okay, and I want to cite the part in Revelation where it says the Euphrates River will run dry. Now,
yeah, it also says that armies will be coming with short swords and shields. Have we seen those yet? There's also another part in Revelation where it says that hailstones weighing a talent will fall from the sky, battering everybody. Has that happened yet? And a talent, by the way, is like roughly around 60-something kilos. How much is that in freedom units? Just 1 second. Talent Bible. How much weigh? That is a really bad way to type that in, but Google will understand. So talents weigh differently, whether it was Egyptian, Roman, or common talent used in the New Testaments. So 129 pounds. 129 pounds. Okay. So before the Euphrates drying up, you have to have hail of over 100 pounds coming down. It's amazing what we ignore, isn't it? Like, we just go, oh, no, let's just ignore that one. That one doesn't count. I think it's Revelation 16, I think it is. Yeah, 7 bowls, that's the one. Go for KJV, probably the safest bet. Usually when it's a southerner quoting this stuff, KJV is usually the way to go, to be honest with it. It's just it's a little predictable. It's a little predictable. Okay. So this is Revelation 16. The sixth angel poured his vial out on the great river Euphrates. The water thereof was dried up. The way of kings of the east might be prepared. Now, the Euphrates has gotten lower, right? It's about at half level to what it has been in the past. But that is not some kind of divine thing. It's not an angel pouring out a vial. It's because further upstream, they've dammed the river a lot, and probably climate change as well to a certain degree. But mostly it's because people have dammed the river. It's only at about half where it probably should be without those dams and stuff. So it hasn't dried up completely. So I don't know why that would be the case. The other thing I want to point to is at the end, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone the weight of a talent. And as I said, the talent is about 130 pounds. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of hail, before the plague thereof was exceedingly great, which, to the best of my knowledge, there has never been hail of hailstones that weigh 130 pounds. Like, that's half the weight of a human. That is insane. Giving Elon too much credit isn't cool enough. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Oof.
Euphrates River is going to run dry so that the army of 200 million comes from the east. Okay, they're going to march across that dry river and go to destroy Israel. Okay, this is all unfolded in the book of Revelation. Now, that was wrote some 2,000 years ago. John, who wrote that, could not have possibly known that river was going to dry up without supernatural means. It's
okay, so in Revelations, it points to a lot of things that people in the culture at the time feared. It points to thunder and lightning storms. Hail is another thing that they feared, right? It's one of these things that cause a lot of damage to primitive societies, or more primitive societies than ours, right? So hail to us is like, oh yeah, it causes some damage, insurance covers it. It's, you know, it's annoying kind of thing rather than deadly. But hail to people in that day was incredibly damaging. It would go through thatched roofs. It would go through certain things. Like, it would batter livestock. It's not great. So all of these things they feared. Flood they feared. Fires they feared. Thunder, lightning storms they feared. Great winds they feared. So drought they feared. So all of these things just bringing up the things that people at the time feared. So until you have hail of that size, the Bible hasn't gotten it right. It needs to have everything in there. You can't just say, oh, well, one thing happened. Because rivers drying up is one of the things that people feared. And, I do note that the Tigris also is drying up. That's about half level as well. But the Bible doesn't mention that anywhere, which is strange, because the Euphrates and Tigris are the main rivers of the area, the ones that really matter.
Possible to predict a river drying up 1,000 years later. So what I'm telling you is that book was definitely supernaturally inspired, and based off Revelation, based off of what's described, we are coming close to the second coming of Jesus. We are getting very
Grayson.
close.
Hey, Grayson, I got to send you a message about something as well. Just don't let me forget. But welcome.
Euphrates River is getting really, really dry right now.
No, it's about 50% to where it probably should be if it wasn't dammed to hell. But that doesn't mean to say it's going to dry up. Like, I don't think it'll dry up. I think that it will just be at a lower point than it ordinarily would be. I can't predict what will happen with climate change, but to say that it's drying up is a little bit of an overestimation to saying, hey, its water level is lower than where it should be. Like, those are two totally different things.
So if you don't believe in the Bible, you don't believe it's prophetic, well, look up what I just said. I believe it's Revelation 6.
Okay, so when's the 130-pound hail coming, Bryce? When is that coming? Because I want to know. Because holy crap.
16. I can't really quite remember everything, but I know what's in there. And it talks about the Euphrates River running dry. So why'd I bring that up? I brought that up to tell you that there's a good chance that the Antichrist is walking and breathing on this planet as we speak, which that means that the false prophet that comes along with the Antichrist is alive. So why do I think it's Elon Musk? Well, there's two pieces of evidence that are more significant. They're more significant than any other piece of evidence. One, it says in Revelation, the false prophet will deceive with fire from the sky. And so Elon Musk has this fake space program called SpaceX. And let me tell you, he ain't been past the firmament. No man has ever been past the firmament. He has not been in space. He has not put a rocket on Mars. He's not done anything he said he did. He's not a scientist. He's not a propulsion engineer. He don't make electric cars. He pays people to do it for him. He's one of the greatest scammers that humanity's ever seen. But
Okay. Let's back up a second. So we see the emerging of the real sort of fundamentalist catchwords here. He hasn't been past the firmament. Like it says that and deceived from fire from the sky. I don't think that's a very good interpretation. I don't think you know you can really point to Elon Musk deceiving with fire from the sky. I don't like. It's so weird. It's so weird. I'm just gonna find the verse. NIV will do. Like seriously. Oh boy, Bryce, mate, what are you doing? KJV. Let's go KJV. You know he believes in KJV. You know it's true. It has to be. I believe. I believe that's true. I believe that Bryce is a KJV only guy. Okay. So this is Revelations 13. He exercised all the power of the first beast before him and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from the heaven on earth in the sight of men. That's all that it says. It doesn't say he'll deceive with fire from the sky. It just says he'll doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. That isn't generally what Elon Musk is doing. Generally, he's trying to get rockets up, not down. I mean, yeah, maybe you could say, hey, it fits with, returning rockets to the ground. This is sort of prophecies of Notre Dame stuff. You can interpret that in all kinds of different ways. Like you can interpret it, and multiple interpretations have been done throughout the sort of thing. A lot of people interpreted that as nuclear weapons. A lot of people did. He's now just what you're not getting the evidence and fitting it to what it says. What you're doing is you're getting the thing that you've concluded and trying to fit anything you want to believe to it. It's not a good way to evaluate things.
I think he's actually a step further than just a con artist. I think he's evil embodied. And I can say that with confidence because, like I said, one piece of scripture, the false prophet will deceive with fire from the sky. But here's another piece of evidence is Elon Musk is inventing chips that go in people's brains. And I'm telling you, that is the behavior to look for when you're talking about the Antichrist. There's going to be a mark in everybody's head, and there's going to be...
Well, no, it says it's on their forehead. It says it's on their forehead specifically, the front of their head. This is the sort of mental gymnastics you have to do when you're sort of trying to fit what you already believe with your holy book. Like it actually says like either on your right hand or your forehead. It is very specific about that, right? It is apparently it's placed in the cerebral cortex. And where is that? Yeah, so the cerebral cortex is kind of like in the sides of your brain. It's not at the front. Like that's the frontal lobe. So it's very strange. It's very, very strange. Where located? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be forehead. I don't think that's going to be the place where it's going into. So this is sort of again trying to fit with whatever you believe to what your book says. It doesn't actually match, but that's okay. You can do some mental gymnastics. You can make it work and say, oh, well, it still was pretty right. Don't forget that people said the mark of the beast would be barcodes as well. They've been saying this for ages. Barcodes, credit cards, mobile phones has been suggested. Anything that they have an issue with, they'll just slot in there.
Be a mark in it or on their hand. Okay. That's what they call the mark of the beast. And I'm telling you, Elon Musk, if he hasn't invented the mark of the beast yet, he is laying the groundwork for the Antichrist to take that mark of the beast and implement it on all humans. Because right now, Elon Musk has actually put a chip in somebody's brain and convinced them that they're healthier now. And I'm telling you, that's beyond.
Convince someone they're healthy now. Okay, buddy. I don't know about that. Has someone actually had a Neuralink? I think somebody has. I don't think they said they were healthier. I don't think so. Yeah, so it was basically put into a quadriplegic man in order to play online chess and Civilization. Well done, sir. I approve of this. Civilization. Yeah. But you know what? If I was paralyzed from the shoulders down, I would probably want that as well. That's actually amazing. Despite great progress since undergoing the procedure, there were issues with the technology that nearly led to the company removing the device from his brain. Arbar said that some of the threads became loose from his brain. There were performance issues with the device. Fearing he would lose the enhancements the device brought to his life, he got emotional. It was very, very hard to give up all of the amazing things I could do. Yeah, so basically they're saying, hey, maybe at someday we'll have somebody have a quadriplegic incident, one that renders them paralyzed from the neck down, and they will actually be able to walk out of the operating room is what they're trying for. I don't see a problem with this. Like, they're just doing it on people whose quality of life is actually really low at the moment. And to be able to control a computer when you're quadriplegic is incredible, absolutely incredible. Without using, hard to use stuff is incredible. Oh, hey Jess, how you doing? Good to see. Hey, great work in. I saw Joe's video. You're in there. That's fantastic work. I really liked it.
A con artist. That is evil embodied. To lie to somebody to the degree that you can tell them, hey, put this chip in your brain and I'll help you.
Well, I don't know if they convinced him he was healthier. That categorization for they convinced him he was healthier when a quadriplegic can control a computer when he couldn't before. Those are two totally separate things. The misrepresentation of it is incredible. He wasn't healthier as in had a healthier body. He just could do things that his paralysis prevented him from doing. Yeah, you and me both, left-handed Jedi. And this kind of thing, it would be easy to let sort of doomsayers and these sort of religious zealots prevent us from making advances in medical technology. Because they sort of go, oh no, that's evil and horrible. Dude, that's not, if it's helping people, you still go to the hospital, right? It's so weird.
And he's going to convince millions of people to put that chip in their brain. And I'm telling you right now, he sounds like a false prophet, and the false prophet is going to present the Antichrist.
So let me ask you a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
So,
well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff to be overcome before that even gets in. Like, I worry about Neuralink just because it's Elon Musk and he's a douchebag. He would probably sell ads in that frigging thing if you could get away with it, which would be my concern for it. I think that I think that there'd have to be like insane government oversight, and I don't trust the American government enough to provide that oversight. I don't trust their oversight of food, much less their oversight of, sort of medically implanted technology. I don't trust their healthcare system at all. So I think that it would be okay, but you would have to have really good oversight about it. Yeah, I won't go into a whole spiel about the limitations of human intelligence and cognitive function, because we're kind of reaching the limit of human cognitive function. I don't think that sort of our brains can get any bigger, because if they get any bigger, there's going to be a lack of efficiency. So if we are going to evolve, we've got to do it in a different direction. But the question is, would you trust Elon Musk to do that? And the answer would be, oh, hell no. Hell no.
You know, if Musk doesn't buy Twitter, October of 2022, I don't know the exact time when he bought it. Anyways, if Elon Musk doesn't buy Twitter, right? And he decides to just focus on SpaceX, which is now October of 2022. Yeah. So which is now a $210 billion company. You can pull up SpaceX market cap. I think it's a $210 billion company. He continues with Tesla, which he took from, Okay.
So he sort of made this thing like Elon Musk is just a scam artist. Now, so Elon Musk is an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. Like, people have said, oh, he's an engineer. Kind of. Okay. So kind of. His background, he actually did do some coding, so he could generously be called a software engineer. That he definitely did do coding in a couple of financial systems before he started PayPal. That is true. But, is he a aeronautical engineer? No. Is he a mechanical engineer? No. Is he an electronic engineer? No. But to say, oh, he's a con artist, I don't know about that. I mean, some of his stuff has been really dodgy. Some of them haven't. I do know that there's a battery system in South Australia that he basically said he can make this work or else it will cost nothing. And he made it work. Like, some of his projects have been vastly successful, but he's still a douchebag. And I wouldn't trust him to run something like that. That doesn't make him like the Antichrist. He's just another businessman. He's another greedy businessman who, unfortunately, is trying to get on board the Trump fascist train in order to get more money, which is, a serious douchebaggery move.
$59 billion company to $650 billion plus trillion valuation, gets his $55 billion payout, give or take, whatever the number is. He could have continued doing that. He could have continued doing those things. But if he doesn't buy Twitter, and you say something like this that you just said right now, this wouldn't stay. Any of the stuff that you said, these interviews wouldn't stay on Twitter. They would ban you. They would silence you. You would be suspended from Twitter, right? But
yeah, because there's an incredible amount of misinformation, and that's what we're having a problem with. People talking like this stuff is real. That's the problem. Because, people without good education believe it, and it causes massive problems. Massive problems. There's got to be some standard of making claims that you've got to back them up. Like when somebody goes, oh, the earth is flat, you've got to back that up with more than just, oh, well, I don't trust the government. But we have like a mountain of, oh, evolution's fake. You've got to have something to back that up. Not just, well, my book says a thing. Like, we're really talking about thousands and thousands of papers and scientific institutions and aeronautic institutions and just a massive amount of evidence against, well, my God said so. Like, there's got to be some kind of standard of making claims require something. But these conspiracy guys, they'll just say, oh, well, my book says that the mark will be on your right hand or forehead. So therefore, this thing that Elon Musk is suggesting must be revelations. It's ridiculous.
You're out there being able to say this stuff about him, right? So if he's the Antichrist, why would he be
The
okay
false
with
prophet.
the false? No, I'm sorry,
yeah.
the false, because Antichrist is walking. Yeah, he's on earth, but the false prophet. If he's a false prophet, why would he allow so many people to say what they say about him? Why would he give him that permission?
Here's the thing: in the Great Depression, did you know that the government handed out soup to people? Now, does that mean that the government cares about you? Does that mean that
Yeah, they hand out soup to people. I don't. Yeah, okay. So the government cannot care about your financial well-being, and still, like, the people in the government might not want you to starve to death. This is black and white thinking. Okay, so notice this: it's a logical fallacy. Black and white thinking. It's either one extreme or the other. It can't be, nuances in the middle. There can't be a gray area with these people. So if the government gives you soup because the government isn't looking out for you, it has to be that they can't do anything good because they're bad. Okay. Slippery slope? I don't think so. So slippery slope is usually when you have a chain of causality based upon probabilities. So you're saying something like, well, if this person gets into power and he puts attacks on people, then he'll start taxing people's estates when they die, and then that will lead to confiscating them early before you die. So a slippery slope is a chain of causality, a chain of probabilities kind of thing that might not necessarily come true. And sort of, so, if we let them do this, the slippery slope will lead to this, when it might never lead to that, right? You hear this a lot with fundamentalists who sort of say, hey, if we allow gay people to get married, then people who will want to marry animals will allow, and then people who will want to marry inanimate objects will allow. Like, there's no reason to think that that will actually follow from one another. Yeah, this is more black and white thinking, which means that black and white thinking is sort of that things are either one thing or the other, and they can't be a mix. Like, so the government is either good or bad, and if it's bad, there's nothing good it can do. When in reality, what we find from governments is there's various different departments, some of which are doing good things, some of which are doing horrible things. And really, it's never that, well, it's either good or bad. But he absolutely thinks in absolutes. Yeah.
the government's going to help you because they handed out soup? No, the government caused the Great Depression, and then they offer you a measly bowl of soup. Does that mean that the government is who you trust because they're the ones handing out soup? Now, he might have given you a little bit of freedom on Twitter. He's going to take.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't trust the government, just because they're handing out soup. But the government did not, I don't know why they would want the Great Depression. That was catastrophic. And it was basically, I think Roosevelt did the New Deal, which sort of helped it out of the Great Depression after a few truly terrible decisions by Republicans. It's very strange that people think Republicans are actually better economically. I don't know why people think that. They're always responsible for economic downturns. It's actually nuts that people think they're better economically. I mean, Reagan was the author of trickle-down economics, which we know does not work. It doesn't work, right? The financial housing, the housing collapse, the bubble that collapsed, they tried trickle down. It did not work. Other countries tried public distribution of funds, and that did work. We know what works, and it is not trickle down, yet they keep saying it will. It doesn't. I don't know why people think that. It's really, really strange.
Take everything from you. You put that chip in your brain and you watch. And I'll tell you right now, he is evil embodied. Nobody wants to put a chip in somebody else's brain unless if they're evil and sadistic. And I'll say it right to his face. I'm not scared of him, and I die right now. I don't care. There's nothing he can do to scare me. And I'm not scared to tell people what I believe, because I'm telling you, if you get that chip in your brain from Elon Musk, you've been fooled.
You probably should take a moment to tell people what you believe, because you believe some really weird stuff. Maybe apply some critical thinking and epistemology of why you believe this stuff, and whether because my book says a thing probably isn't a good reason, because all kinds of books say all kinds of things. And I don't think it was a coincidence that he grew up in a very fundamentalist Christian household, and he's suddenly a fundamentalist Christian. I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
The chip is the one that makes you uncomfortable.
When you type in Neuralink and Greek beta gematria, you get the numerical value of 666.
Can you type that in?
Now, gematria, apparently, I don't know a bunch of stuff. I'm not that well versed in my history, but gematria is when they give words or letters a numerical value.
Yeah, so it's basically, there's all different types of gematria, which is basically giving words a numeric value. But, you know, it's sort of just taking the syllables of Neuralink and putting them in this Greek beta gematria. So there's multiple gematrias. And the thing is that they all vary with what they produce. Like one produces 854, another one produces 555. It just depends which one you put it in. And the problem is that if you have that many, and there's a ton of phrases that come out with 666. It's not even, you know, it's not even, you know, unique to that word. It's not.
When you type in Neuralink and Greek beta gematria, 666. That's why I believe it.
Okay, so where did you read that? Did you read that online, or
I typed it in myself? I went to a Greek.
Yeah, he went to a Greek beta gematria site, which basically interprets for him the words. Yeah, it's numerology, exactly. Yes, it is. It's numerology. It's assigning numbers to the stuff. It's really wild.
Beta gematria calculator, and I typed in the word Neuralink, and it's numerical.
You would never find something incorrect on the internet. That would never happen, ever. Like, he basically goes to a website where numerologists are sort of, you know, and perhaps, yeah, you can get that number out of it, but you can also get that number out of a ton of different things. Gematria calculator. And there's a whole bunch of them. So even if you don't get, you know, if you don't get it in one, you can just use another one. You can use the a different one, kind of thing. It's really strange. Yeah, so in Hebrew it's 405, in English it's 630, in Neuralink it's 105. Okay, so I want to show you something. This is oh, that's not Greek. English. Yeah. Anyway, I couldn't find the site that I was after. That's okay. So this is gematria words and phrases of 666. So Prophet Muhammad comes out in Jewish or Hebrew for 666. Pfizer, prophecy, like, so all of these things, they do this numerology to add up numbers associated with the symbols and then like reduce it down to a 3-letter thing. Notice the English one, it goes to 4 because they kind of just muck around with it. But you can sort of get all these things out of it, like Babylon's God, he, Jinn, facing end of days, atheism is a cult, Tom Cruise, obviously, Tom Cruise, obviously. And the thing is, if you don't like what it comes out at, you just use another one. You just use another one. Andrew Tate in English gematria is 6. Andrew Tate, obvious. Santa Claus. I knew it. Santa Claus is the beast of Satan. I knew it. Look, they even have it in the name. That's definitely Satan Claus. Like, seriously, what the hell? They're just sort of, you know, taunting you. Like this is numerology. You can get what you want. You can get whatever you want out of you just put it through.
Value in Greek beta gematria is 666. So, I could be wrong, but either way, he's still evil. He's still a liar. I mean, just like, for example, we're talking about his cars. Let's talk about his cars. You take one of them cyber trucks, it can't pull 2 of my trucks from state to state. Dude, I'll take a 7.3 IDI back from 9.
I don't understand what relevance this has got to do with like being the devil or the prophet of the beast or whatever. I don't understand. Like his trucks suck. Look, I'm more concerned about the safety worries of his truck because they have no crumple zones, which means that all of that impact is sort of hit on the driver. All of that kinetic force goes to the driver and, absolutely wrecks the driver rather than crumpling the car. It seems like that truck is designed to protect the car and not the driver, which is wild and horrible. But, that doesn't make him the devil. What are you talking about?
91. And I'll load up 2 or 3 cyber trucks and I'll pull them all the way across the country. His trucks can't do that. That was back in.
They weigh a lot. They weigh actually a great deal. I'm not sure you can do that.
91, they were making diesel engines that could do that. His truck ain't nothing. He can't even make a real truck for men. That cyber truck is a piece of garbage. His Teslas, they're garbage. He's conned everybody by believing that all these electric vehicles are so great. It's the biggest scam I've ever seen in my life, those electric vehicles are. And not only that, here's why they're inhumane. Because to get all the power for them batteries, you have to mine all of these elements, and that's all done by child labor.
No, it's not. No, absolutely not. Okay, so let's talk about batteries. So you're basically talking about lithium-ion batteries. Now, essentially, it's got 2 of the components. Number one is obviously lithium. So it's not to get the power for the batteries. It's to make the batteries themselves. The power comes from wherever electricity is generated at the moment, either, sort of coal, nuclear, renewables, wherever. That's where the power comes from, Bryce. The power doesn't actually get mined, dude, seriously. But the ion part is actually cobalt, and there is something to this, right? A lot of the cobalt that is mined is done so in third world countries who use child labor. And a lot of the business practices at the moment is cracking down on these companies that do use child labor. Okay, we don't want to see it. We really are trying to crack down on it. That's not to say all of it is. Australia has cobalt mines. Actually, Australia is the 2nd largest cobalt producer, cobalt reserves in the world. It's just that we predominantly mine lithium over cobalt because we do so much lithium. I mean, so much lithium. I think we do over some ridiculous amount. 52% of the world's lithium comes from Australia. So we prioritize lithium over cobalt. But some comes from England, some comes from other places. He's got a point that, yeah, we want to crack down on cobalt mining using child labor. Absolutely. We want adults to do that. But that doesn't make Elon Musk the devil, because cobalt does come from ethical sources as well. And I don't know how to tell which one comes from which, but just because that some companies use child labor doesn't mean that everybody is.
So people thinking, oh, we're helping the environment. Dude, you're increasing the demand for child labor, because that's how all these batteries are made, is child labor. So
no, the batteries aren't made with child labor. No, it's the cobalt that is mined. Now, if you're talking about batteries in China, you may have switched subjects to, does China use child labor? Well, that's another thing we're trying to crack down on, is child labor being used for manufacturing. I'm not sure that I think the mobile phone industry is a big proponent of that, but I bet this guy has a mobile. So it's not child labor that he's really worried about. He just doesn't like Elon Musk and thinks he's the prophet of the Antichrist, I think is his exact words. He's weird.
He's doing the opposite of what he's saying in every single aspect. Just like in SpaceX, they're taking these rockets up and they launch them and then they crash them in the ocean. That's it. He can't go to space. No man has crossed the firmament.
No, he doesn't crash all of them. Like, yeah, when he was perfecting his like reusable rockets, yeah, and we have crashes. What?
You see what I'm saying? So if you believe that Elon Musk has passed the firmament, or if you don't know what the firmament is, then I'm just telling you.
I don't think there is a firmament. There's no firmament. There's no firmament. None whatsoever. Doesn't exist. There's nothing. The firmament is supposed to be like waters or some nonsense. I don't like, what the hell? It's so weird.
You've been tricked, and it's okay to be tricked. But it's really good to not be tricked.
So Bryce, here's what I did when you're saying Neuralink, 666, all that stuff, right? And a similar thing to Monster Drink. Have you ever seen a Monster Drink? If you flip it to 666,
it is demonic, brother. Monster energy drinks are demonic in the name.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole Monster energy drink thing. Yeah. They said that was demonic as well because of the symbols that it has.
But Jesus Christ, I'll never promote that product. They're partnered with the UFC, but I will not promote that demonic product. It's straight from the pits of hell. That's right. It has 666 on the can. They just come out with the flavor called Bad Apple. Now they're referring to the fall of man, and they put it on the can. That the flavor is called Bad Apple, and it says on the can.
Pull this up, Rob.
On the can it says, "This flavor is so good it'll get you kicked out of the Garden of Eden." So they are mocking Christianity. If you put that in your body, you're partaking in a demonic ritual.
It says if you put this in your body. Wait, they said zoom in, Rob, to see if that's what it says or not. I can't see it.
So forget your regular apple juice. Bad Apple is so good it's almost worth getting kicked out of Eden over. I like, seriously? And he believes this, that they're saying, hey, we're evil and we want to trick you, so we're going to write it on the can. This is where this kind of thinking gets you. It gets you into this, well, that's demonic. What?
Said this drink is so good it's worth getting kicked out of Garden of Eden for.
Forget your regular apple juice. Bad Apple is so good it's almost worth getting kicked out of Eden over.
That's what they named it.
And when you turn that bottle upside down, that's 666 in Hebrew. I'm telling you, brother, this is demonic.
So go back to Elon Musk. So
yeah, and barcodes were demonic, and Dungeons and Dragons, everything's demonic. Everything's demonic to these people. Whatever they don't like is demonic. It's crazy. Like these people have just. Yeah, and I agree, Human Girl. It's just they decided to market it to try and get attention, because it doesn't matter in marketing whether it's good attention or bad attention. You just want attention. You just want people to talk about it. That's all. Unleash the beast. Yeah. I mean, it's just a marketing strategy. That's all it is. I totally agree with Human Girl. Yeah, so it has to be upside down. So technically, it says 999. Technically.
Who do you think named because first thing you made me do is Neuralink, what it stands for.
Right.
So I said, let me see who named the company Neuralink. Rob, can you pull up the link I just sent you? So watch this. Meet the guys who sold Neuralink to Elon Musk without even realizing it. Okay, so this is a story from 7 years ago. Go all the way down. Let's read it. So last week we learned that Elon Musk will start a mind computer interface called Neuralink. The name added a brainy new entry to Musk's growing scroll of big ideas, Tesla, Solar City, SpaceX, and Hyperloop. But as in the news of Musk's nascent venture to merge man and machine spread across social media, an electric engineer in Ohio named Pedram Mohseni must have been slapping his forehead. That's because in January, he'd agreed to sell the name Neuralink to Musk without realizing it. So that could mean that Mohseni came up with the name Neuralink, not Musk. That's where I go.
Yeah, so some random professor in a university came up with the name. So he's not naming it to show how evil he is. He's just got this name that sounds like, it's just ridiculous.
Go to automatically, right? To see where the credibility is there. Because I understand having strong positions against somebody. It's America. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having that.
No, really?
I understand, thinking certain people are false prophets. I'm sure there's many of them out there that act like, you ever seen that one pastor who's in his...
Well, in fairness, Davids, you did elect a felon your leader. So, I really go, how could you possibly take this guy seriously? But you just, Trump's in office. I shouldn't be shocked by anything that comes out of that country anymore. I love I have a love-hate relationship with America, quite frankly. I love the people. I love their attitude. I love everything about them. And your systems and what you've set up is a fucking nightmare. Like, seriously.
Jet, and the lady comes up to him and starts interviewing him and how he reacts. You ever seen that?
Yeah,
interview?
demon manifest.
Right.
I know
He says, I don't want to be in a what did he call it? A loop with other demon, Is that
I know who you're talking about.
that clip, right?
I've seen it, brother.
That's the part with Elon Musk. So, because others have said it as well, where, what's his motive with that? I don't know if I'm going to be a testimony of somebody that's going to want Neuralink in me or not. I had a guy here, Billy Carson. I don't know if you know who Billy Carson is.
Oh, yeah.
He's a guy that forbidden knowledge, if I'm saying it correctly, Rob. And I said, let me ask you, what would you do with Neuralink? Would you ever put it in your brain? He says, not today. I said, why not? He said, I just wouldn't put it today because I don't need it today. My brain works good today. I said, so would you put it later on? He says, yeah, if I notice all of a sudden, my cognitive and my thinking and all this stuff is kind of declining, I'd put it in.
Yeah, so really we're talking about if you start suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia or something and it can fix it, you would probably seriously consider it. It's a horrific disease that robs people of their very mind and changes them into somebody completely alien to their family. The damage it does is horrendous. I
said, are you looking, you're saying it very simply, Billy, as if it's like steroids. If my testosterone levels drops, I'm going to get on steroids. He says, yeah, something similar to that, right? Now, Billy's a pretty skeptical guy. He doesn't trust a lot of people to be able to say something like that. But there are some people that say this Neuralink is going to help people with some other issues that they have that they would entertain putting in it. I don't know that. I'm not interested in that. But, only time will tell what this is going to do for us. Go ahead.
Well, I think that Elon Musk is such a nice guy that, brother, you won't have to put it in your forehead. You could also put it in your right palm.
How would that work? How would that work? Like, if you're putting a neural link that's supposed to access your cerebral cortex, how the hell would you have it in your right palm? I'm not sure this man is medically trained. I'm not sure he's a neurologist because he doesn't seem to understand that cerebral cortex is kind of in your head and not even in your forehead like the actual text says.
You want to. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be in your forehead or your right palm. You just watch. It's going to evolve.
Tell me what you mean, your right palm.
The mark of the beast. It's going to be in the forehead or the right palm. You see, and Elon Musk is so nice, he'll give you the option, I bet you. You can put it in your forehead or your right palm. The time will prove me true because as time keeps going, you're going to be able to see more of the stuff that I'm saying is true. It's going to come out. It's going to be undeniable. Now, you say that Elon Musk,
we'll all see the firmament eventually, yeah. I wonder what this guy thinks of the final experiment. Like, I wonder how he explains that one away. It's sort of this, it's this blind faith that he's right. It's incredible. Like, how do you explain a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just says, hey, you're being fooled by the devil. Because you can't trust anything you see because the devil makes you see things. You're being fooled with fire from the sky.
Yeah, sold that name Neuralink, and I believe that. That's fine. But the Bible, when it says that the mark is going to be 666, it doesn't say where that comes from. It just says the mark is going to be 666. That does not take away the fact that if you type in Neuralink in Greek Beta Gematria, it's numerical value 666. I don't care who sold it to him or this or that. For example, perfect example.
Yeah, but in English Gematria, Andrew Tate is 666. That's the thing, Bryce. You're just basically just ignoring every other thing that adds up to 666. That's what neurology is based upon. It's getting a number that seems significant for you, but the problem is that when you've got multiple different ways to get numbers, you're going to find one that matches up with what you think, at least something similar. I mean, what's the chances that in one of these gematras, these systems for classifying it, that something associated with Elon Musk, not even Neuralink, just anything at all, is going to come out at 666? Pretty damn high.
When I talk about the Euphrates River being dry and that these prophecies in the Bible are coming true, it's undeniable. You know what people want to tell me? They want to tell me, yeah, but the river is coming dry because they've dammed it up. It's just because people have dammed.
Well, no, it's got a lower amount, but it's not coming dry. I don't know what that means. And yes, it's been dammed up. That's human interference. That's not an angel pouring out a vial. Because it says in the book, an angel will pour out a vial. It doesn't say, hey, humans will come along and stick a bloody great dam on it. If it said that, I might, be wondering, but it doesn't. It says an angel will pour out a vial into the river and it shall, basically dry up. A, it hasn't dried up, and B, it wasn't an angel pouring a vial. It's a frigging dam.
Up the river, it's not anything to be worried about. The people dammed up the river. That's why there's a perfectly natural explanation for why the river's running dry. And I say,
Ugh.
yeah, but the river's running dry. Like the book said, it doesn't matter how it's running dry. The river is dry.
The book says it was an angel pouring a vial, and it also says that hail of 120 pounds, 129 pounds is going to fall on people. Like, you're ignoring everything else that doesn't align with what you already believe. Where was the angel? Where was the vial? It doesn't say people will dam the thing and it will dry up. It says that an angel will pour out a vial into the Euphrates.
Book 2,000 years ago said the river's going to run dry. When that happens, this happens. 200 million people cross from the east to the west to kill Israel. Now, when John wrote that 2,000 years ago, there wasn't 200 million people on the planet. There might have been a couple million people. So a guy said,
no, I doubt it. I mean, there was a lot of people around at the time, dude. I think that the Akkadian Empire had like 1 million people at its height. So, you know, people were aware of what millions were. You know, I'm not sure if there were 200 million people in the area around John who did this prophecy. But, you know, I don't think it's a stretch for him to find that number.
One of the most active rivers in all of civilization. He said, hey, that river's going to dry and 200 million people are going to walk.
Most active rivers? What do you mean by most active rivers? I mean, they're permanent rivers. I don't see how they get much more active. Like, how is that more active than the Amazon? That's a weird thing to say. The most active river. Okay, that's weird.
Across an army of 200 million people. There wasn't 200 million people on the planet, and the river wasn't dry. Now there's an army of 200 million to the east, which is China, which is, I'm telling you, China is going to militarize.
China does not have a 200 million person army. China has about 2 million. Yeah, so about 2 million. Actually, so the People's Liberation Ground Force, the army, has about 965,000 active personnel, including all of them. Yeah, no, that's about it. That's about it. So no, it doesn't have a 200 million army. No. The entire armed forces maybe has about 169 to 180,000 personnel. And it's capable of mobilizing all of its reservists, so everybody that can possibly fight. It goes up to about 2.5 million, right? 2.5 million. It doesn't have a 200 million person army. Sorry. That is like a large percentage of the population of Earth, like way too big. What are you talking about?
They're going to come over to kill everybody. You mark my words. And that river's dry. So it doesn't matter how that river got dry.
You think China's going to go after Israel?
I think so, brother. That's what's coming.
Why? Okay, so China's complicated. They're not a, you know, we wouldn't see them as a nice nation. They're not democratic. The Communist Party generally has a very totalitarian control over the people. Like, I get you. China is not really a country I would live in, or, you know, sort of their strategies have been described as underhanded and very, very nasty. Look, I'm not a fan of China, but at the same time, China, both historically and currently, is very inward facing. They don't go really much and invade other countries. Now, there's exceptions to that. There's Tibet, which the Communist Party saw historically as being part of China. But generally, they're not doing so much of military invasions. They certainly are like putting areas in coastal regions, sort of claiming these artificial islands and things like that. But they generally don't they generally, unless like something involves China, they generally don't get drawn into conflict at all. Like Putin tried to tap China for his attack on Ukraine, and they just were absolutely uninterested, totally uninterested. They would sell him stuff, but that's the strength of China. They're an economic power. I'm not so sure about like a military power. They're certainly significant, but they generally don't act militarily outside of China. I don't think they really want to get involved with anything outside of China.
What's coming? So, your thoughts? I've heard you comment on Israel and Palestine and Gaza. What are your opinions on Israel as a nation and some of the other commentary you're hearing, especially recently? Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, October 7th. Things got very heated. A lot of things calmed down a little bit, but still, it's a topic of discussion. Where do you stand with it?
Look, David, I don't like what China's doing in Hong Kong. I don't like a lot of the policies of China. I don't like the communist oppression of China. But, you know, I worry more about US interference in Australia than I do about China. Maybe on same par. I get very worried. When a country starts threatening other democracies, I get worried. And China hasn't really threatened anybody. The US has invaded a lot more people than China. Absolutely. A lot more countries have been invaded by the US than China.
Well, I don't think that United States going over there is going to help anything. I certainly won't be volunteering my services. I tell people all the time, I'm going to die in the pine trees, not in the sand. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going over there because any type of U.S. involvement over there is going to make it worse. And let me tell you what I think is happening. I think that the powers that be are conspiring, and they're using U.S. tax dollars to piss off the Muslims. And by Muslims, I mean Iran. Okay. They're pissing off Iran. Now, who's Iran going to bring into the fight? Russia and China.
Mm-hmm.
So if they.
Who's Iran going to bring in? Russia and China. Okay. At a stretch, at a real stretch, I could see Russia helping Iran with Israel just to stop US influence in the Middle East, right? At a real stretch, but I doubt it because that would absolutely draw the US into a conflict. You know, they would go to defend Israel and Russia does not want that fight. They can barely handle Ukraine, much less the US. That's ridiculous. The idea that China would help Iran is ridiculous. I mean, like or hate China, they are a secular government. They are. They do have religious people in their country, but then they're not going to help Iran, of all places, which is a Muslim theocracy. China isn't even big on Muslim religion. Like, they don't like Islam that much. In fact, a lot of the issues for human rights is the Uyghurs, who are a Muslim population of China that has been sent to rehabilitation camps, which, you know, I don't agree with, but they see it as a dangerous religion. They have these policies of, hey, this religion is dangerous. And considering they, like, you know, their history with religions, I can kind of understand why, but I still think it's a horrible human rights violation. Like, horrible human rights violation. Yeah. I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird. I just, there was something about during some period in China, like the communist China, there was an uprising of religious people trying to take over parts of China. I think it was the Taiping Rebellion. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So this was during 1850 to 1864. Look up the Taiping Rebellion. right? It was under the influence of missionaries, Hong Quan, who called himself the younger brother of Jesus Christ. He was denounced as a heretic by mainstream Christian groups, but he revolted against the Qing government and led to the establishment of the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, right? So he literally took over significant area of China and had like rule over about 30 million Chinese people. It was a religious coup, and not a lot of people know about this. Like, this is why China considers some religions dangerous, because about what's that, about 200 years ago, they literally had Christians try to take over the country. And this is something that obviously the Christians completely ignore, right? It was a theocratic, militaristic regime, instituted social reforms, suppression of private trade, and the replacement of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Chinese folk religion with this Christianity. It was put down by the Qing army, aided by the French and British. It's basically an estimated death toll between 20 and 30 million people, right? A civil war. You know, it horrible. Yeah. So so I don't agree with everything that China does, right? Like, especially sort of, you know, putting Uyghurs in education camps. But I understand why in Chinese sort of cultural memory, they have a massive problem with religions they see as fundamentalist or aggressive, or in some way, you know, sort of militaristic, because that went really badly for the Chinese people.
Piss off Iran enough, who's got all the oil and is backed by Russia and China. All they got to do is use U.S. tax dollars, which they have a plethora of, to piss off Iran. And as soon as they piss off Iran, here comes China, here comes Russia. And I'm telling you, any U.S. involvement in that is going to make things worse. The best thing the United States could do is stay the hell out of it and get their tax dollars out of that region. If we could just make it to where our taxes don't go overseas, we'd be better. But I'm telling you what's going to happen. They're going to use United States tax dollars to bomb these Muslims, to piss these Muslims off, and the Muslims are going to bring their buddies, the Russians and Chinese, and they're going.
The Muslims are not buddies with the Russians and Chinese. Putin is famously a very, very staunch adherent to Russian Orthodox Christianity. Russian Orthodox is what Putin is. He can't stand Muslims. He will use them, but that is not something that he gets on board with. The Chinese do not like fundamentalist religious people. They don't, and especially not Muslim. So I don't know what this guy is talking about. He really has no idea, like no idea. I could imagine at a massive stretch that Russia may help get Israel out of the Middle East to stop American influence, but China? I don't think so.
They're going to kill. They're going to come to kill all of Israel. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's inevitable.
What do you think about to ask you?
That's my guard dog.
I totally visualize a French bulldog snoring, because that's very normal for them.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's your biggest concern with, you know, sending kids to school?
Is not just the lack of education. Everybody says, oh, well, they're wasting their time. They're doing worse than wasting their time. If you lock your kid up in a cell and he does nothing and nobody talks to him, they'd be better off doing that than going to public school, because they are doing anti-education.
Yeah, what makes me think that this guy did not get particularly well educated? Just a guess. Just a guess.
School. They're teaching the kids they come from monkeys. They're teaching the kids that the earth is 9 billion years old. They're teaching the kids all of these evil things, and they're highly orchestrated. They're teaching your kids that we come from monkeys so that they don't live by the word of God. They don't want your kid to have salvation in the name of Jesus Christ. So they're going to go lock your kids up in this government-run program and tell them that we come from monkeys. They'll tell them anything to get them away from Jesus Christ. And
No, there's tons of Christians that believe the same thing. Tons of them. I don't understand. Like, even if evolution is 100% true, it does not disprove Jesus Christ or God or anything like it. You can still have faith in Jesus without evolution. It's just that is what happened. That is where the evidence points us to. You instead would rather go, well, I don't want it to be true, so let's not learn about it. That's not how any of our science education works. I mean, you talk about Chinese being such a threat. You bet your ass they're making scientific progress with an understanding of the world around us. It's so weird. It's so strange.
How do I know this? Because I lived it. They tricked me. They told me, oh, we went to the moon. Oh, we did.
We did go to the moon. We literally have reflectors on the moon that reflect lasers. The Indian government put a drone on the moon recently. What are you talking about? This is so weird.
All this, oh, the Earth is 9 billion years old. I believed it all. I believed we come from monkeys, but
the Earth is not 9 billion years old. It's about 4.6. I don't know where he got 9 from. Maybe you should have listened a bit better in your school. It's not 9 billion years old. No. Like, this is the thing. Like, he is just showing how his lack of education right now. It's so weird. And, you know, there's problems if you think the world was 6,000 to 10,000 years old. Like, how come we take ice core samples from Antarctica? Oh, he probably doesn't believe we can get to Antarctica. But these ice core samples have 800,000 layers in them of yearly ice being thawed and then refreezing. But I don't know.
Guess who I called upon when I seen a demon? Jesus Christ. And that's how I know his name is real. And that's why I cannot let my kid go to public school. That is the devil itself.
Bryce, have you ever been?
It's the devil. Everything's the devil. Public school is the devil itself. Dude, what are you talking about? Like, this is the problem. Like, who gave this guy a platform? Like, seriously.
To California?
A couple times, yes, sir. Been training out there.
Have you walked in the streets of California, kind of seen what's going on?
There's a lot of demons out there.
Did you go to California?
A lot of demons out there. Are demons just people he doesn't like? Is that what demons are?
For Pride Month?
No, sir.
You don't give me the vibes of somebody that would go support. Actually, Rob, I would actually pay to see it, to have Bryce out there in the streets of Pride Month. Have you seen some of the clips circulating on what they're doing in San Francisco?
It's
guys walking around naked in front of kids and danglings and peeing on each other and all this BS that's going on.
This is the spirit of Jezebel.
I don't think that's happening during Pride months. I think that's a vilification. So there's been a spate of anti-Pride posts feature photos unrelated to these LGBTQ events. So the photograph of children walking past 3 nude men with bicycles in the background was not taken at a Pride event, contrary to posts online. It was captured at a World Naked bike ride in London at the east side of Lincoln Inn's Field. There is no connection between that and Pride. So all of these photos they're showing are not actually linked to Pride. They're just making it up.
It's coming out. And let me tell you something about, I can prove to you right now. And I mean, this is 100% pure proof. That Pride Month, all this gay stuff is demonic.
Okay.
You want to know how? You can't spell Pride Month without demon.
Really? That's your proof? That's your proof? What? Pride Month, and it's got like it's got a space in between. What? That's your proof? Oh, well, look, we better not go to psychotherapists anymore. We better not go to psychotherapists or therapists at all. Therapists must be evil. Evil. What are you talking about? Wow, that is the worst proof I have ever heard in my entire life. And look at it. He absolutely believes that the way the words form up, it's 100% proof. Holy crap.
Priddemonth. Do you see what they do? They put these, spelling is meant to cast spells. So when they articulated the word pride,
Yeah, so this is supposed to be Pride Month. It's not. This is actually a naked bike ride in London. It's not.
Pride Month, they made sure right in the middle of Pride Month is the word demon, because that's what Pride Month is about. It's about glorifying demons, glorifying death. When Jesus Christ, if you live by the word of God, you'll be prosperous for all your life. It'll lead to nothing but victory and prosperity. But if you glorify demons, you will have certain death and certain destruction. Not one of these gay people will have a grandson like I will.
But why not? Why not? You know that they can get people to donate or be a surrogate, or they can, you know, use artificial insemination, or they can adopt people.
Will, or a granddaughter like I will. All of these ways lead to death and destruction. And like I said, Pride Month.
No, you don't even know how childbirth works, that there's no reason why a gay man can't have a child. In fact, a lot of gay men do have children. What are you talking about? You're an idiot.
Right in the middle of Pride Month is the word demon, because that's what it.
Yeah, so I generally don't go for just going off Google. Things can be 100% wrong. I'd rather do some sort of fact check, and usually Routers is pretty good with their fact checks. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I disagree that they should be out there, but you know, what I'm concerned about is all of these photos. That still doesn't mean that what they're showing is actually the truth, right? That still doesn't mean that this is going on consistently in places.
It's there to glorify demons and Satan.
Why do you think they're doing it though? What's the long-term outcome?
The long-term effect is to weaken this Christian nation so that when these communists come over here, they can kill us all. Because like I said, gay people, they don't build an army. Gay people can't build no army.
There's a lot of gay people serving in the military. What are you talking about? Like this guy, he just, where does he get his information from? There's gay people in the military. What is he talking about?
All they do is take other people's kids and convert them to gays.
You mean to tell me like a gay army wouldn't intimidate you?
Oh, they'd have your back, all right.
No, actually, that photo was fake. That was fake. That was not Pride Month. It was the world's naked bike ride. It's funny how I've said the truth and you're basically moving the goalpost to, oh, well, that one's fake, but there's other true ones. You're the one moving the goalposts. I didn't say they're all fake. I said that one was fake. That one that they brought up and put on the screen was fake. So yeah, not moving the goalposts. Not moving the goalposts, but I think I'm going to give you a bop. So how about you shut the hell up? Because I didn't actually move the goalposts. You just failed to listen to what I actually said. You idiot. Wow. They don't listen. I say, hey, that is fake. There was no people, naked people riding the bikes at the thing that they're showing on the screen. That was literally the world's naked bike ride. And he goes, oh, you said it was all fake. And then you said that there was some. No, I didn't say that. Man, idiots. Yeah, that's kind of just big.
Counterpunching him, and I would with me, the author of the book.
Yeah, so the idea of men in the military who are gay, and yes, Nitty got it. So some ancient Greek men had male sex partners for military plans. Indeed, they did. In fact, there was a military for Thebes called the Golden Band of Thebes, who was made exclusively up of male homosexual partners, exclusively. And they kicked the Spartans' ass. Yes, the Spartans were famously defeated by a bunch of gay dudes. How do you feel now? How do you feel now? Do you feel emasculated that your Spartan warriors were defeated by a bunch of gay dudes? Like, and I mean really absolutely beaten. And there's gay men and women serving proudly in the military, and for him to say they can't form armies, they do. They absolutely do. All they do is steal your kids. No, they defend your kids. You idiot. And if you're gay in the military, I thank you for your service.
Of the fourth turning. I don't know if you've read it or heard of the book before.
No, sir.
They wrote it in 1997, December 1997, when the book came out. They made 5 predictions. Okay. One of the predictions was there's 4 turnings that you go through.
Oh, this turning cycle is hilarious. It really is.
Right? First is a high, then it's the awakening, then unraveling, then crisis. And we're in crisis mode right now, according to.
Yeah, no, we're actually in unraveling. So he's actually wrong about that. Look, these 4 turnings, people point to significant sort of events that shape these turnings. It's like massive war followed by rebuilding, followed by sort of complacency, followed by a deteriorating, followed by another crisis or a massive war. And they sort of put this in cycles and point to these events in cycles. But the problem is they ignore certain events. They will just wholesale ignore them to fit them in. Like, for instance, they ignored World War I as one of these events, and they ignore these certain wars. And actually, World War I was the more impactful of the two. I know that World War II was bigger, and we attribute a lot more sort of emphasis to it. But really, World War II was a continuation of World War I. Like, it was because of how the Germans were treated after World War I in their surrender that World War II actually happened in the first place. It gave people the indignity and sort of righteousness to try and get back at what they perceived to be as an injustice. So when these sort of turnings don't follow what they've predicted, they kind of just fit them in, which seems to be a theme of what we're seeing throughout this video. It's just something says a thing. Let's fit in whatever we can to make it okay.
The fourth turning, right? And he says the 5 predictions they made in the book that's going to be happening. One of them was a massive financial crisis, global financial crash, which happened. 2, a global pandemic, which happened. 3, Russia would invade a neighboring Soviet, one of the former Soviet countries. Happened. What was a Tea Party one, Rob? Do you remember the 4th one he made? Anyways, 4 out of the 5 predictions all became a reality. One of them didn't. The only one that they predicted in the book that would cause us to go back to a typical conventional way of living was an all-out civil war. And he says every time in the history where we've gone through these 4 turnings, every single time
yeah, and they're absolute nonsense. They're absolute nonsense.
4th one, the only way we go back to massive change is through war. Their prediction was there's a possibility that's going to be a civil war.
Yeah, so which is ridiculous. Because World War II was one of the turnings that they had. It was one of the wars that they said, and then the rebuilding process, this optimistic, is sort of the baby boomer era kind of thing. No, that's not always during civil war. I don't know why you're pointing to civil war, and it doesn't mesh up anyway. It's just looking at these things in like something, let's just confirm my biases by saying, hey, this war is this one. Then this is the rebuilding period. Oh, well, there's a war there. Well, that one doesn't matter anymore, because it doesn't fit in. It's ridiculous. It's nonsense.
And then he quoted something. He quoted a book from a lady named Barbara F. Walters, who, Rob, is that the daughter of Barbara Walters?
I don't think so.
Is it a different Barbara Walters? Okay. So who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. This lady goes, Barbara F. Walter. Can you actually check to see? Okay, Barbara F. Walter. This lady writes a book, and go to the book she wrote, Rob. The book she wrote right there. Now, right there. How civil wars start. Okay.
And how to stop them. And how to stop them is the next part.
She goes around the world interviewing other countries where had experienced a civil war. Mm-hmm. And everybody she interviews, every one of them said the same thing about civil war. Do you remember her words, Rob? She said, everybody I spoke to, they all said, we never saw it coming. We never saw it coming. So nobody thinks a civil war is going to come before it comes. All of a sudden, boom, it's here, right?
Yeah.
I ask you a question about the whole LGBT.
Yeah, and so we've got sort of a a real bad logical thought here. It's basically if a civil war happens when no one sees it coming, or a civil war happens and all of these other people didn't see it coming, we don't see it coming, therefore a civil war must be coming. That doesn't follow, right? That's affirming the consequent. It's basically saying, because this thing happens when these circumstances are true, then the thing must happen. And that's not true, right? There's a lot of countries that have thought civil war isn't coming, and it didn't, right? Like, weird.
California Pride, all the stuff that we're talking about, and but a part of it right now is the divide in the values and principles that we have is so wide. It's almost as if somebody from the outside is trying to cause a civil war in America to break us apart, right?
So that we could be picked off by the Russians and Chinese. That's right.
So you believe that could happen?
It could absolutely happen. If we just restarted and had fresh people in there that cared about the country, and we got rid of taxes completely, there shouldn't be no taxes. Maybe you could tax an import or export or something like that, but the income tax, it's trash. I mean, we just need a whole new system. The Federal Reserve, it's corrupted. It's all corrupted. And I don't know where all this is going to go, but for somebody like me who has all these thoughts and loves Jesus Christ but can't do anything, you know what I got to do? Start a farm. That's the only thing I can do. That's the only.
Yeah, start a farm. Sure, that'll fix everything. Sure. Nothing you can do. Okay. Well, I mean, you could not vote for the guy who's threatening other democracies right now. That would be a good idea. That'd be a good start.
Only thing we can do is start a farm. Just like in Jeremiah, when the people was enslaved, God's people was enslaved, God instructs them with three things. He says, take wives, make children, and plant gardens.
My kids have this little, what do you call it?
Here we go. This is what I want.
Globe, or you spin it? What would you call that, Rob? Is that
a globe?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a globe, you dummy. Okay.
And we all had it when we were kids, right? I mean, if I had to give them a flat Earth globe, it's a little bit disappointing to them if I gave it to them, right? They would be heartbroken. They would say, Dad, I want it to be round because it's like a ball. It's exciting,
Who cares if it's true? It's true. You're not giving them the globe as a plaything. You're saying, hey, this is the way the Earth is. And, hopefully you could say, hey, this is how we know it's this shape. But it's really, I'd rather give kids something that is true.
You can kick it if it breaks. There's things you can do with it. Why are you so obsessed with removing this incredible experience for kids away and telling them it's flat? Why would you do that?
That is not the reason we have the globe Earth model. It isn't because, hey, kids like it. That isn't a thing. What are you talking about? We have it because that's the shape that it is. That's what we have found the evidence points to of the shape of the Earth. Unequivocally. We didn't put that there because kids like it being round. What the hell?
Well, the good news is that the firmament is circular. It's spherical. So that's good.
Yeah, can you show me some evidence of this firmament, perhaps? It's not like a ancient book written by people in the desert.
They can hold on to that. But yeah, the idea, I'm going to break it down as simple as possible.
Okay.
I blame you for this, Eric. I blame you, but thank you. I really appreciate it. This is great. This is fantastic. Honestly, Eric, I don't know where you found this, man, but my sympathies to you and your family and all that associate with you, because holy crap. Like, wow. No, you're right, mate. I'm only joking. It's fantastic. This is Dunning-Kruger just, wow.
If they can convince you that the Earth is 13 billion years old, it come out of the Big Bang, and we evolved from monkeys, there's no need for God. When you realize that the Earth is an enclosed system, there's a firmament over it, just like the Bible says, and that the sun and the moon are the exact same size. And
oh, yeah, and there's a Sheol beneath it, and there's pillars of the earth. Oh, yeah. Could you give me some evidence for this? That'd be great.
They circle the Earth. You're going to realize something intelligent put that here for life on this planet to flourish. And I'm telling you what it is. It's God. God created everything perfect on this planet. And by the way, the earth don't move. The earth don't rotate. Everything in the sky rotates around the earth. Okay. And people don't understand what flat earth is or why it's important. I'm telling you, because as a Christian, you should know what God's creation looks like. And if you go to the Bible, over 5 times it says very clearly, this ain't the word of Bryce. This is the word of God. The earth shall.
Oh, this isn't the word of Bryce. This is the word of God. Could I speak to the God then? Because at the moment, it's the word of Bryce. It is the word of Bryce. It literally is the word of Bryce. It can't be anything but the word of Bryce because you're the one talking. If you could go get the God, that would be great. But you can't or won't. So why should I believe you? At the moment, it's just the word of Bryce. It is. You're speaking.
Not be moved. So I'm telling you, earth don't spin. It don't rotate. It don't.
Sure, it does. We have Coriolis effect. We've looked on ring laser gyroscopes. It absolutely does rotate. The Cavendish experiments show gravity. What's the one that shows rotation? Folcourt's pendulum. The pendulum shows rotation. Absolutely.
Orbit. The earth is stationary. It's huge. It's covered by a dome. And all the things that, all the heavenly bodies, the sun, the moon, and the stars, which is actually differentiated in the Bible. NASA don't differentiate the sun and stars.
Yeah, no, they don't, because they're exactly the same as one another. I don't know why we would differentiate them. What the sun is just a star that is very close to us. You know, when by very close, I mean it's closer, a lot closer than the other stars.
That they're the same thing. The sun is not a star. The stars are not sun. Okay, I'm just telling you. That's why the stars twinkle and the sun don't. Okay.
Yeah, no, okay, you're just proving the Bible wrong. I don't, you know, it can never be moved. Yes, but the earth is moving. We absolutely know this.
They're totally different things. But anyways, all these heavenly bodies rotate around the earth, and the earth was made for the image of God, humans, to have domain over everything. And if they can convince you that we come from the Big Bang and the earth is 9 billion years.
Well, if we have domain over everything, why can't we like go into the center of the earth? Why can't we like take? It's so strange. Humans should have dominion over everything, so we can destroy ourselves. It's so weird. I don't get this whole thing of men having dominion over everything. It's weird.
So, you know, that's all hogwash. But if they can convince you that, then you won't believe in God. It's that simple. I know, because I thought we come from monkeys.
Oh, there's plenty of people that know that the earth is a globe and believe in God as well. Tons of them. MC Toon is one of them. He's a devout Christian, and that's okay. At least he doesn't believe in a frigging flat earth. Like, seriously.
Until I found out that evolution's all a scam. So basically, the world is about 6,000 years old, just like the Bible says. And it has a firmament, just like the Bible says. And I mean,
Let's go through a couple things. Okay, so
I would say he's been listening to Hovind, but Hovind would call him an idiot. So, you know, because of the flat earth thing. It's so strange that young earthers and flat earthers use the same argument, but the young earthers think the flat earthers are just ridiculous and idiots and morons, even though they use exactly the same arguments for their young earth as well. It's really bad. Like, so I don't know who he's been listening to. It's ridiculous.
Basic questions people will ask. I mean, I've gone through this with many friends, but we'll just kind of do it here together. So, okay, Bryce. So what happens if I drive to the end? Do I fall off? What's around it at the end, right? What does it look like physically? If you want to pull up the picture, Rob, we've seen the flat Earth model.
Yeah, let's see it.
If you can pull that up, which one would you want to?
Okay, so there's not space around it really like that, but that circular right there, that's what it is. But the sun and the stars, they're not like, it wouldn't look like that. They're in the firmament. But basically, there's an ice wall, and
I wonder what he thinks of the final experiment. Like, this cannot work with the final experiment. It can't. It can't. It 100% can't. New reality series offers cash prize to prove the Earth is flat. Why would you encourage them? Why? Ugh. You know what? I as much as I'm sitting here going, why would you encourage these people? At the very least, it would be hilariously entertaining. Oh boy.
Illegal to drive to the edge, brother. I wish that we could, but we can't go to Antarctica.
It's not illegal. People have been there. Austin Whitsett's been there.
Legally. So
You absolutely can. Jeranism. Austin Whitsitt went there. Another flat earther whose name I don't know and don't care to remember went there. We've done this. You can take cruisers there. You can take helicopters there. Wow.
Basically, there's an ice wall around the whole world, and we're not allowed to go to it. Literally, if you went over there, they just arrest you, and that's because they don't.
Well, no, you have to fill out paperwork and stuff, yes. Like, because countries take ownership of certain slices of the Antarctic, like Australia's got its bit, America has its bit, there's a whole bunch of bits there. So, yeah, if you just rocked up there, they would probably go, what the hell are you doing here? But it doesn't mean you can't visit there legally. Like, if you fill out the paperwork and get a place with one of these tourism companies, like the Final Experiment did, you can go there during the Southern Hemisphere summer and see the 24-hour sun, and then maybe explain why that happens on a flat Earth would be great. Cheers, thanks.
I want people to know that the world is surrounded by a 200-foot tall ice wall, and that's what we call Antarctica. So all of this stuff is really mind-blowing when you think about it, but it's important to know.
How about when?
It's really not mind-blowing. My mind is the least blown it has ever been. Like, people believing in things that are false and stupid is the least mind-blowing thing I have encountered in at least 6 months.
You talk to all these satellites, okay? And you go up and they take pictures. Hey, what does it look like? Many have been interviewed. I had one guy that I had on, and he had broke the record for living in space for the longest time. I mean, he lived 250-something days. What does it look like? It's round, okay? You know, satellites out there, you know, maps, the way we can drive around is because of satellites. When you go, you do MapQuest, or you do maps on Google Maps, or, you know, Apple Maps, it's round. Satellites out there. That's how we're able to do what we do. What do you say to that when all these satellites out there in space helping us do a lot of things that we do?
Okay, so satellites, here's the thing, is that there are some satellites that are on balloons, and it's that simple. They hover up to about 100. Satellites
on balloons. Satellites on balloons. No. There's only one internet company that tried to do some kind of connection via balloons, and it failed. Like, they went under because it just was not it was not feasible. It just wasn't. Like, that would be ridiculous. Like, how, wow. No. Plus, anybody with a telescope, why don't you just get a telescope and find this balloon then? Like, if it's that low in the sky, you should be able to find it.
20, 130,000 feet, and they're on balloons. That's why NASA is the #1 user of helium in the world. NASA controls 99% of the helium supply. What they're doing is they're taking satellites, filling up balloons with helium, and hooking satellites to these balloons. They float up about.
Is NASA the world's biggest user of helium? I don't think so. I thought it was mostly used for it's used as a cryogenic agent. Well, the United States owns the most helium. I'm not sure if that's NASA, though. Yeah, so stop using helium balloons, people. Using it for rocket propulsion. Uses helium to cool liquid nitrogen and oxygen, which is used as rocket fuel. Okay. Can you point to these balloons?
120, 130,000 feet. That's as high as a balloon's going to go. Now, let me tell you the contrary. If you believe in satellites that they're actually in space.
Yes, I do. I have done work that has sent coordinates for satellites to technicians. So yeah, I kind of think they're a real thing. And I understand how satellite internet works. Like, if there's cloud cover, it's a problem. If there's sunspots, it's a problem. I know that they're not doing balloons because there are no freaking balloons over Central Australia. It doesn't happen. No one's out there.
Then you believe that there's about 50,000 or 100,000 satellites traveling around at 17,500 miles an hour.
Yeah, big number, scary. So what? They're in orbit. They're technically falling, right? They're always falling and miss the Earth, if you want to think of it that way. So yeah, they can achieve great velocities in orbit. Yes. What's the point?
Now, can you You know, a bullet don't even travel that fast. Do you really think, my brother, do you really believe that there are 50,000 satellites in space right now, 100 miles up in the air, traveling around the planet faster than a bullet? They don't need maintenance. They don't need a fuel source.
Well, sure they do. I mean, they have a lifetime. You know, we have all kinds of problems when countries decide to, you know, a satellite goes down and they have to crash it. Hell, a satellite dropped in Australia when they had to crash it back to Earth. They essentially just maneuver it into a terminal velocity, and then like it just crashes into Earth, usually into the ocean, but sometimes not. But they can get pretty well where it's gonna end up. So yeah, like they don't require maintenance. I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm pretty sure that satellites do require maintenance if they're like, you know, I think the Hubble, for instance, it had a problem where it wasn't working properly. They had to go up and fix it. So I'm not sure why he believes that satellites don't require maintenance. But if it's going to be too expensive to send something up to maintain it, they just crash the thing. They're very, very expensive. What?
Course. There's no other proof of them other than NASA says that they're there. Do you really believe that? I'm telling you that.
Yes. Well, why wouldn't we? We see them sending rockets up. They don't crash into a firmament. We watch them with telescopes. I don't. What are the satellites, you know, through a telescope if not for a satellite? I don't understand. You know, say the ISS, for instance. You wouldn't believe the ISS is real, but tons of people have taken photos of the ISS through a telescope. How are they faking that exactly? Is there maybe a balloon with a little model hanging off the end of it? I don't get it.
Nothing in the world can travel 20,000 miles an hour continuously with no fuel source.
Yeah, no, it's not actually thrusting. It's physics. It's basically using orbit, so it's using gravity to assist it. It basically falls towards the Earth and misses it every single time in a stable orbit. It's not actually thrusting. It's just that's what orbit is.
We can't even get something to fly that fast, let alone do it with no fuel source, and they're not hitting into each other and blowing up. I mean, think about it. You're traveling 20,000 miles.
Yeah, they coordinate satellites. Yes, they coordinate where the satellites are and what orbit they're in. And the thing is, we've gotten so good at physics that if we put them in a stable orbit, we can have them avoid each other. I think the problem here is scale. He doesn't seem to realize just how big the Earth is and just how small a satellite is. It's really weird.
An hour. That's faster than a lot of bullets. Okay. If you so much as hit a piece of dust, you're gonna kaboom.
No, that won't happen. No. So the thing is that the way that energy transfer works, you're basically going, well, if you're moving that fast and you hit a piece of dust, it's going to completely just blow up the satellite. No, it does not have the mass to do that. Right? That's not a thing that's going to happen. If it does get hit like by a micrometeorite or something with a bit of mass, you could have a point. But there's nothing up there. Like dust is not going to do that. It's like that. There was that story, right? If you drop a penny off of the Empire State Building, it's going to kill somebody. No, it won't. It does not have the mass to do that. It will reach terminal velocity. What is terminal velocity, by the way? I should know this. I mean, about 240 kilometers an hour. Yeah. So it just does not have the mass to do that. 10d6, nice. I understand that reference.
because of the speed at which you're going. So you're telling me that 100,000 or 50,000 satellites are in orbit 20,000 miles an hour and they haven't hit a piece of dust and they're not falling back to Earth all the time? No, brother, let me tell you.
No, they've hit plenty of pieces of dust. It's just dust does not have the mass to blow it up like you are talking about. It will bounce off the metal. I mean, enough dust might do a bit of damage to the satellite, which is why they need maintenance, which is another thing you claim they didn't need, which in fact they do. So, you know,
these satellites are on balloons, and that's why you can go right now and you can pull up a video of a satellite with a balloon attached to it, because when these satellites crash back to Earth, they always have a balloon attached to them.
No, they don't always have a balloon attached to them. They have a parachute, maybe. Maybe it's a parachute. Do you ever think about that one?
So there is a little bit of satellites going on in the air, but like I said, they don't get no higher than 120, 130,000 feet, because that's where balloons stop floating because of density, you know.
Oh, density. Have we got density on our bingo card? I wish I did a bingo card for this man. This guy has hit every single beat of the flat earther conspiracy theory bingo card. He's hit every single one. It's great.
Here's an experiment I want to tell you that absolutely proves that the Earth don't spin.
Rob.
Oh, absolutely proves that the Earth doesn't spin. All right, buckle up, people. Here we go. Here is the proof that the Earth does not spin. This is proof, all right? Unequivocal. You can't argue with this. This is proof. Are you ready? I want to know that you're ready.
What is that? What are you showing?
This is a video of a satellite falling to the ground in Indonesia with a balloon attached.
Oh,
yeah, that is a parachute, sir. That's a parachute.
Oh, maybe Bryce is right. Maybe I'm not a brain dead, dumb hillbilly. Well, maybe I am, but I'm still right, you know?
Keep going.
So let me tell you 100%.
That was not a balloon. That's a parachute, sir. And I think that was a re-entry capsule, not a satellite. You know, not that he could probably tell the difference, but yeah, no, that's a parachute.
I can say with confidence, I'm not no scientist, no engineer, but I can tell you a simple experiment that you can undoubtedly prove the Earth don't spin.
Okay,
It involves a helicopter.
I'm here.
I made this
I'm here
experiment
for
up myself, okay?
All right, let me grab my Batcopter. It involves a helicopter, so just get yourself a helicopter.
So you take a helicopter.
Yes.
You can get up to 15,000 feet. You can sit there and hover.
Yes.
You can hover at 0 miles an hour, literally not go an inch north, south, east, or west. So you hover this helicopter for 4-5 hours at 20,000 feet. Did you know that you can come right back down where you took off?
Yes, I did know that.
Now think about the implications of that. That tells you that ground ain't moving. Now, a lot of people are...
The helicopter is moving with the ground. And the atmosphere, actually. The air around it's moving as well. It's rotating with the Earth. That's I know. I know. I know. So everything is rotating: the ground, the air, and the helicopter.
I'm going to say they're idiots, but they're going to say, oh, well, Bryce, the helicopter has inertia.
I'm the idiot. No, it's called an inertial frame of reference. But the thing that you've left out is the air is moving with it as well. Right? And 15,000 feet is not a great distance off the Earth. It isn't. Thick is atmosphere. Yeah, so depending on the definition, it is literally like, oh, that's kilometers. So it's about 6,213 miles thick. So you go up 15,000 feet, it still isn't that much. That's the thing. How much is 15,000 feet in miles? God, I look, I'm sorry, Americans. I hate your system. It sucks. If that was kilometers, I could easily work it out. Like seriously, that would just if 15,000, it was 15,000 meters, I could just go bang, 15 kilometers. That's it. That's all. Okay. Oh God. Feet to Mars, but no, it has to be in feet and miles, which you can't just make a easy frigging conversion. No. That would be stupid, right? Yeah, it's 2.8 miles, right? And the lol Imperial, yeah, absolutely. Like the atmosphere is like 6,800 miles, and you're going up 3, and you think that's significant. Like, he just does not understand how big the Earth is. But it's inertial frames of reference. While you're doing that movement, everything around you as well. So it's like sitting on a train and going, why doesn't my drink just get flung off the train? Because it's moving with the table, which is moving with the ground, which is moving with the train. All of it's moving together. That's why.
It has inertia. So the Earth is traveling 1,000 miles an hour. No, it's not. Okay. But Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to.
No, it's making one rotation every 24 hours. Like, you can then apply tangential velocity to it, but it's not really, like, we don't measure rotation like that. And it doesn't matter the speed. You won't feel that speed because you don't feel speed. You only feel changes in momentum. So yeah, everything can be going at 150, 200 kilometers per hour on a bullet train, and it feels like solid ground.
Lie to you. He's of the devil. And Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to lie to you and say that the Earth is traveling 100,000 or 1,000 miles an hour. They're going to tell you the Earth spins 1,000 miles an hour. Okay. And so you can do this experiment even on the equator to make it even worse. Okay. Where
on the equator, sure,
spin is supposed to be the greatest. So you take that helicopter up in the air, you hover it for 4 or 5 hours, 15,000 feet, and you can go 0 miles an hour. You can go absolutely nowhere. Just hover and then come right back down on the same helicopter pad that you launched off of. Now, like I said, the critics are going to say, hey, well, Bryce, the helicopter has inertia. So when it takes off, it's already traveling.
Well, it's not just the helicopter. The air around it does as well. That's what you're forgetting. It's the air around it that is also moving as well. So to you, it looks like you haven't moved. But it's the air has traveled with the ground with you. So what?
1,000 miles an hour, you just can't detect it. Well, here's what I've got to tell you. Have you ever run on a track? If me and you are equally fast and I run on the inside and you run on the outside of the track, who wins that race?
You.
Because I'm on the inside.
Sure.
Because you know the further you go out from the center of that circle, the more distance you have to travel to.
Yes, but you're talking about, like, in the distance going around a corner, a massive amount. You haven't gone a massive amount, right? Like, if the atmosphere is like about 7,000 miles, right? Like you've gone 1/2000th of the distance of the atmosphere. Like, that would be like going, well, who wins if you take like a 1 centimeter step towards the outside? It's insignificant at that point, right? If you run the track on one lane and the other person is 1 centimeter further along the track, who's going to win the race? It probably won't make any damn difference whatsoever, will it? Seriously, dude, you can't comprehend large numbers. You just can't do it. And we see this all the time in flat earthers. They cannot comprehend spatial dimensions, like the size of the earth and things like that. And yeah, it's hard to get into your head because it's so damn big. But they just, their analogies are terrible because they're trying to equate it. It's like that. Well, if I give you a bottle, why doesn't all of the air stick inside of it? Because it's tiny. gravity doesn't affect it the same way. It's nonsense. It is actually nonsense.
To complete a circle. So what I'm telling you is when that helicopter goes up to 20,000 feet and it's sitting there hovering for 4 hours, not only does it have to spin 1,000 miles an hour, it has to spin more than 1,000 miles an hour to go back to the same spot that it landed, because now the Earth would be not attached to.
It's insignificant. It really is. That distance is almost nothing compared to the size of the Earth. So no, it's fine. And it's not like it exactly goes back to exactly the same place. Winds are still going to buffet it around. It's still going to have to adjust to keep above the same spot. Like, it's not exactly the same spot. And you know, I'm not arguing that it will come back to the same spot generally. Sure, yeah. But, you know, this idea that if they go, you know, perfectly up, I think the winds are going to actually push it around a lot more than any kind of rotation will, because it's not rotating very fast. Like, swing a merry-go-round, one rotation every 24 hours. It's not fast.
That helicopter. And so it's in a different type of rotation. It has to cover more distance to land in the same spot. You see what I'm saying? But how come I can get a helicopter and land in the same damn spot no matter how long I hover? Because the Earth don't move.
No, it's because the air around you is moving as well. Everything's moving around you. The atmosphere is being carried with the Earth, which is, you know, churned up a lot. But it's not like a helicopter pilot can just go up and he'll land exactly back down where he started from. That isn't a thing. I don't know what he's talking about.
Like the Bible says, wake up, Christians, have discernment. You got to know that NASA is evil. That's why when you take NASA and add a T, it can spell the word Satan. Okay, that's why they're.
NASA is evil because when you add in an SA and add a T, it says Satan. What the hell? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, if you add all these letters to the name and then mix them up exactly how you want, it says something else, which means that's the thing that it is. What are we even doing here? Like, this is evidence to this man. I'm trying to... it's almost like he's a parody of a Christian flat earther. I'm deadly serious. If this guy is a parody, he is a genius and it's amazing. Like, I just can't take him seriously. If you add letters to something, it says something else. Well, yeah, no joke. It doesn't mean it's that thing. Oh, wow. Wow.
The NASA's logo is a serpent's tongue. Okay, because NASA is of the devil. And Christian, you got to have Holy Spirit. You got to have discernment. You got to know who the enemy is. And if you're...
Yeah, this is discernment in action, people. This is what discernment leads you to. It's, I feel a certain way, therefore all of this nonsense is true. This is where discernment gets these Christians to believing all of this absolute hogwash. Like, there's just this nonsense because they have the gift of discernment, and when they were told this, they really felt it right down in their heart that has all the stuff written on it. This is the worst epistemology I could ever look for. You know, if someone adds these letters to Bryce, it says evil one, so let's get him. What are you talking about?
Sitting up here laughing at me because I'm telling you the truth. You're the problem.
No, you are not telling the truth. You are horrendously, either you are an amazing comedian doing a parody, or you are a liar or absolutely deluded.
Christians should all know that NASA is full of shit. Every single Christian on this planet should be able to denounce NASA in the name of Jesus Christ. And if they can't, then they've been tricked by the enemy. And I'm not saying you lose your salvation, but when we get to heaven, you ain't going to be laughing at me, buddy. I'm going to be laughing at you. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now.
When we get to heaven, I'm going to be laughing at you. I kind of almost feel sorry for this guy at this point. Seriously, this is going to be on the internet for a long time. And, you know, dude, like when we start to have like a commercial rocket flights tourism astrotourism. This is going to be up there. And, you know, he still seems so young. You know, how's he going to feel when he's 60, when, you know, they're doing tourism flights to, you know, out of orbit?
That NASA's all lying. They're just trying to get you to where you don't believe in God. And that's why the lie of the round earth, the spinning earth that orbits the sun, that's where it comes.
I don't think even the host believes him. I think the host is like, yeah, this is too much. This is crazy. You know, like I think even the host has like gone, yeah, I'm not on board with this.
Comes into play.
I'll play this clip for you. Tell me what you think about this clip.
That's a serpent's tongue right there.
Flat Earth theory in the last few days because of rapper B.O.B. and his beef with noted astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. B.O.B. declared to his Twitter followers that he believes the planet Earth is actually flat and that all the nations of the world have joined together in a massive conspiracy to cover up this fact. Here is how flat earthers believe the universe works. They believe that Earth is a flat disk which looks like this. The North Pole is at the center, with Antarctica forming an ice wall around the outer edges of the disk. This is why flat earthers believe.
Yeah, and this azimuthal equidistance map, flat earthers are now absolutely charging away from this map. They're absolutely saying, "Oh no, we never said that was the flat Earth map." They absolutely have in the past. They've absolutely said that is the map, and now a lot of flat earthers are saying, "Oh no, we never said that," because this does not work with a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. How could it possibly work with a 24-hour sun? It doesn't. It doesn't.
The 1961 Antarctic Treaty was agreed upon by all the world's nations.
That's right.
So no one could reach the edge of the disk. They believe that this is the reason the UN uses this as their symbol. There's also a dome-like barrier called the firmament, which surrounds the disk. This is an impenetrable barrier that keeps the atmosphere intact. Flat earthers do not believe we have ever passed this barrier. According to flat earth theory, gravity does not exist. Instead, they believe.
Okay, calling it flat earth theory is really generous. I kind of take umbrage with that. There is no flat earth theory. I find that incredibly annoying, quite frankly. Let's not give the flat earth, even hypothesis is a little bit generous in my opinion. Look, let's not be calling it a theory, please.
Universal acceleration, believing that all celestial bodies are accelerating upward at a rate of 9.8 meters per second squared.
I don't believe that.
They also believe that Earth is not actually spinning and provide counter evidence to disprove the rotation of the planet, such as the fact that clouds in the atmosphere are not moving at the rate of 1,000 miles per hour, the rate of the Earth's rotation. Flat Earthers believe that when Copernicus theorized that the Earth moved around the sun, all of the world's religions decided to accept his theories, and rather than risk being questions, the world's religions have a vested interest in furthering the Earth globe idea. In turn, flat earthers believe that all imagery from the space program has been faked. Some of the most common pieces of evidence with a lack of direct commercial
That NASA moon landing is all fake. Where's the stars?
If you remove the D, V, I, and A and add two P's, two O's, an E, and an L, and a K to deviant outcast, it spells potato leek soup. So EB. You know what? I love potato leek soup. I actually cook my own potato leek soup. I love it. It's fantastic. So yeah, absolutely one of my favorites. I think mushroom soup I actually prefer. Just because I love mushroom, but you know.
Unfortunately, we are talking to you, B.O.B. All of these theories don't explain why a ship disappears over the horizon, bottom first.
The ship, I can debunk that too. I can debunk that.
Oh, he can debunk
Look,
that.
A ship don't disappear over the horizon, bottom first. That's a 100% complete lie from Satan, and you can prove that with the Nikon P1000.
Oh, the Nikon P1000. I so wish I did a bingo card for this. I really do. Like, if we get another one of these, I'm gonna have to do a bingo card because seriously, he would have cracked it in like 2 seconds. You know, 2 seconds. Let me find this this picture here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So,
you can take a ship that has vanished on the ocean, take a P1000, a camera that Nikon sells, and zoom in on that ship and completely see the whole body of the ship. Once it.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Share this out. Okay. So this is a picture taken. I'm not sure where was it taken. This is just an example of the Earth's curvature, right? Yeah, so approximate distances by Navy personnel they can see, and this was a picture taken of 3 cargo ships at sea. The closest one is the Energy Panther, the closest one. The second one is the Overseas Yellowstone, which has the red bottom of it missed, and then the Huanagan Spirit is sort of this is nautical miles, right? 6.5, 7.7, and 9.9 nautical miles. Now explain the Huanaguan Spirit, 9.9. Has that boat sunk? Is that what's happening? Has that boat sunk? And I guarantee you can zoom in all you want. That boat is not coming back, right? It's not going to suddenly rise up to look higher in the water. It's not. So this is what happens when you zoom in on ships. But this is an excellent example of ships further away are lower in the water, or they appear to be lower in the water, but they're not. They're absolutely not. So this one, he's just wrong. Like, I don't know where he got the idea that if you zoom in, they just suddenly reappear. I don't know where he got that idea. I mean, if something is far away enough not to be seen, then yeah, maybe, but not what we're talking about here.
It's out of range of visibility from the eye. So I can tell you right now, that's a lie. If you think, oh, well, when a ship goes out in the ocean, it disappears bottom first. No, it don't. Use it.
Oh, yeah, it does. And I just showed a picture of ships disappearing bottom first. I can show you video of ships disappearing bottom first. What the hell? Have you never seen a cargo ship? But does he live on the coast? I live on the coast, and I've seen plenty of cargo ships disappear bottom first. Plenty of them, tons of them.
1000 and zoom in on it. You'll be able to see a ship that's not visible with the naked eye.
Yeah, not visible with the naked eye, but the bottom of it will be missing. It's not what we're talking about. We're not talking whether it's visible. We're talking about what part of it, when you zoom in, is visible, and the bottom isn't. That's the whole point.
Another thing that they was mentioning in there, there's so many things. Okay, for example, the picture of NASA with the moon landing. Where's all the stars in the background?
Okay, so the stars in the background of the moon landing photos is basically that they had to turn up the exposure in order to get photos. So if you turn up the exposure, turn down the exposure in order to get the photos, or else it would have been way too bright. I don't know accents, Eric. I got to admit, mate, I can't spot American accents for the life of me. He could be from Texas, or I don't know. Something tells me he's from Kentucky for some reason. I don't know why. I could be completely wrong. Kentucky, or I don't know. I'm gonna go with Kentucky. Now, Kentucky isn't near the coast. I do know that. All right, so I'm not completely ignorant. But anyway. So because there's no atmosphere, the sun is so bright. Yeah, sure, Austin, take care. I just knew you want to see this one because it is sort of up your alley kind of thing. American Southern accent, okay. Well, because the light's so bright, there's no atmosphere to sort of filter it. There's nothing there. They had to turn the exposure way down. If you turn the exposure way down, smaller lights don't appear. The stars are still there. It's just that the camera isn't picking up their light. That's all. That's what happens when you do that.
It's this simple. They can't fake the constellations. Okay, they cannot fake them, so they just chose rather just black it out and just say, oh, yeah, we can't see it because of the sunlight. Here's another thing. Do you see a picture of the Earth from the moon? Do you realize how fake that is? Because do you realize that the Earth is supposedly 6 times bigger than the moon, which in reality, it's a lot bigger than that. The Earth is huge and the moon's very small. But if you believe NASA, the picture of the Earth from the moon should be huge. Do you see what I'm saying? Look at the picture that NASA, look at that. Do you think that that's what the Earth would look like from the moon? Do you think that that's a real picture?
Yeah. What's the issue? I don't know the issue. That the Earth is bigger than the moon? So what? I don't get his point. Anyone know his point?
Picture. You have to have discernment. When somebody's lying to this degree, they have an evil cause. There was one more thing I really want to bring up with this.
I don't think so, Fox. I think that he thinks in terms of 100,000 feet or whatever is the limit of where we can go. So I don't think he sort of considers anything past that, mate. So and Anarchic Fox asking, does he know how far away the moon is? I don't really think so. I don't think he's actually considered the insane distance it is to the moon. Like, I don't think he's actually sort of past that at all.
This Earth spinning and the stars, for example. Okay, here's another perfect example. I can prove to you that the Earth don't rotate. Did you know that the pyramids, the 3 pyramids over there, I believe it's in Giza, the Great Pyramids, they're in line with Orion's belt?
No, they're not. That's sort of a common myth that's been sort of bandied around that isn't actually true.
The 3 stars that they're in line with, I believe, is Orion's belt. Now, I might be wrong, but my point is they're perfectly in line with 3.
No, they're not. They're 100% not. Orion correlation theory. I'll just go to Wikipedia. I couldn't really be bothered sort of delving into this. It's a fringe theory that is not actually true. One of the pyramids would have to be inverted, like out of its sort of thing. So Krupp pointed out that the slightly bent line formed by the 3 pyramids was deviated towards the north, whereas a slight kink in the line of Orion's belt was deformed to the south. And to match up with one or the other had to be turned upside down. Yeah. So, yeah, no, they don't line up with Orion's belt. Nope. 10,500 BC, the only time the precession of the equinoxes. Yeah, and that's the Sphinx lining up. So, yeah, none of this is actually true. It doesn't actually line up. It's offset. Most westerly stars was offset slightly from the others. Yeah, so none of it's actually true. Not true. Not true.
Stars. They always have been. They always.
Yeah, so I love how it says, fringe theory, it posits this correlation. Yeah, that's basically what I was reading, and it goes on to say, no, it's not actually true.
Will be. Now, do you really think the universe is expanding? The Earth is spinning, and then we're orbiting the sun while...
Yeah, that's what the evidence shows. We have background microwave radiation. We have Hubble's law. We have all kinds of stuff to show, yes. Yes. We have redshift. That all of it suggests that, yes. For the spinning, we have the Foucault pendulum. We have ring laser gyroscopes. We have everything points to that. Yes, we have the Coriolis effect. We have all of that stuff. There's a mountain of evidence. Yes.
Spinning, and then our galaxy is traveling away from other galaxies. Guys, those stars have been perfectly aligned with those pyramids because the Earth don't move. You got to get that in.
Yeah, it's not perfectly aligned with the stars or aligned really at all. It's not. No.
Your head. You got to know why they're lying. That's more important. I can sit here and tell you all day about, how they're lying, what tactics they're.
Could you not? I would like that if you didn't.
Using, but when you understand why they're lying, then the enemy is exposed. They are lying so you don't accept the Bible, because the Bible says the earth shall not be moved.
The Bible will not hinge on the shape of the earth. You can still believe all the nonsense in the Bible without going into the shape of the earth at all. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant any more than when the Bible says, hey, there's 4 corners to the earth, that you have to believe that the earth has these squared off corners in order to believe that there's a God. You don't. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hinge on that. It really won't. This whole thing about, they're trying to undermine Christians. Christians have believed that the earth is a globe for ages now. Ages. Hey, Tap, how you doing? No. Look, I am not watching this stupidity again. I'm sorry. I'm not. Actually, this would be a really good one to do for Bad Science Sunday. This guy is a hoot. He's an absolute hoot. I may be a dumb Southern guy. Yes, you are. I kind of feel sorry for him, though. Wow.
The Bible says that the sun and the moon and the stars were made. It doesn't say that the sun is a star and that the stars are a sun. It differentiates. And I'm telling you, the Bible is the oldest flat earth document that there ever was. And
yeah, no, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I don't even think really that the people back in, sort of 2,000 years ago believed that the earth, like there's these myths that float around that, oh, ancient peoples thought that the earth was flat. No, they really didn't. We've known that it was a globe since ancient Greek days. Like people are, have been onto this for ages and ages now. So the big contention in Christianity was a heliocentrism, not flat earth. It wasn't.
So they want people to not believe the Bible.
So, okay, on the moon landing, we had, who's the guy that we had on, Rob, on the moon landing stuff? Got a guy on. He's the guy that got punched in the face.
Bart Sibrel?
Bart Sibrel, yes. Have you ever heard about Bart Sibrel or not?
Was it not Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin?
Yes, yes.
Because he won't put his hand on that Bible.
That's right.
And swear on the word of God that he went to the moon, because Buzz Aldrin knows that he's lying. And Buzz Aldrin lies to kids. He's a coward. Neil.
Yeah, so Buzz Aldrin, so there's more to this story than what he's giving out. This is one I've heard before. And Buzz Aldrin was actually harassed by this guy. This wasn't his first encounter with this guy. He actually followed him, harassed him outside his hotel. He called him a liar, and he was very, very arrogant and aggressive, and brought a Bible with him and said, put your hand on this Bible, and basically called him a liar. And so Buzz Aldrin punched him. I mean, he probably shouldn't have, but there's this whole thing that Buzz Aldrin wouldn't swear on a Bible. It's like, dude, if he's the enemy and making it all up, why would he care? Like, it's just this ridiculous thing. And this guy was being an absolute jerk. I don't think he should have been punched, but it's not like when you risk your life to do something and someone says, oh, you're a liar, you're evil, you're all these things. Yeah, Buzz Aldrin smacked him one because he was being a douchebag. It wasn't because he had some conspiracy he had to cover up. It's because the guy had harassed him multiple times, calling him a liar and a fraud and all of these different things. So he got smacked. That's the explanation. But they wanna sort of frame it as, oh, this guy just asked him to swear. That's not what happened at all. It was a protracted harassment of Buzz Aldrin that actually happened. Look it up.
Lance Armstrong, whoever.
Not Lance Armstrong, because Lance Armstrong.
That was the Tour de France guy.
He's a Tour de France guy. He just got him up. Lance, we're not saying you landed on the moon or not. You're safe.
Yeah, you're safe, brother.
Yeah. So go to on the moon landing podcast we did. I came home. I've never.
Yep, true. Yeah, he harassed him to the point of him just losing his temper. He's absolutely frustrated. And he did instigate it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Never seen my dad talk about moon landing. He's an 82-year-old man. At the time, he was 80. He's like, I don't believe it. I think the man is right. There's no way. How's it even possible? I'm like, Dad, you're 80 years old. This is what you're thinking about. I said, no, he made very good points. And this is, he just wanted to talk about it for weeks. Now you're going to mess him up. Now my dad's going to watch this.
I hope he listens, please.
Don't listen to this man. He has no idea what he's talking about. He thinks that dust can puncture satellites. It's weird. I don't care how fast the satellite is traveling. A piece of dust just cannot pierce metal. It just, maybe if it was going at the speed of light. I don't know. It's just so ridiculous.
I hope your father listens.
Oh my God.
That would be such an honor if your family's listening to this.
My dad is a man of faith in a big way. But okay, so the treaty. We know about the treaty. That's when Hitler was fascinated with Antarctica, and he went on a 4,500 man mission. I don't know if he went on we went on he went first, then we went on a 4,700 man mission to see what's going on there, and then eventually it turned into the treaty that they put together. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if the Earth is flat and you have binoculars, and I can go in a distance, shouldn't I be able to see what's at the end?
Well, oxygen ain't invisible. You see what I'm saying? There's always a barrier of the atmosphere. So
yeah, the atmosphere isn't mostly oxygen; it's mostly nitrogen, really showing that you don't know anything about it. And yeah, like particles do have haze and things like that. It can be intercepted, but the sort of distance that we can see is way less than what we should be able to if the Earth was flat. And then you have problems like the sun's light traveling further along the edges than it does through the middle of your little flat Earth design there. So that's a problem as well. You've never, like, they never explain how that works, why it travels more sort of around the disk than it does through the disk. They just say, hey, this is what it looks like. It's very, very strange.
Literally, oxygen, it ain't invisible. There's some degree of tint that oxygen.
Yes, but the tint of oxygen is not going to stop somebody on the dark side of your pizza seeing the sun on the light side of the pizza. That's our point. Like, we should be able to be in the darkness, but at least see where the sun is.
Provides. So you can't just see an infinite amount of distance with all this oxygen in front of you. You see what I'm saying? The debris and the oxygen, all the gases, they're not invisible. So you can only see so far because all of this atmosphere.
Okay, so now you're saying you can't go to the end of the earth if it's flat. Why can't you go to it?
Well, it's not legal, but you can go, like, for example, Admiral Byrd. He's a guy who I completely trust. He died shortly after testifying that he went past the ice wall.
Sure.
And when I say the ice wall is the end of...
No, Tap, he's talking about like dust, literally dust in, like, satellites are in orbit and there's dust up there. Why doesn't the dust just explode the satellite? I'm not even joking, mate. This is his understanding of physics. Like, he just does not understand that does not have the mass for that to happen. Like, yeah, 1 kilogram object, that'd be, if there was a ton of 1 kilogram objects up there, satellites would be taken out all the time. But dust is not going to worry a satellite. Like, it just isn't. Like, we're talking like specks of dust. Like, why would it? Who knows? Who knows? And, you know, it might, but he also believes that satellites don't need maintenance as well. He also believes satellites don't need maintenance. You know, never mind that we had to fix the Hubble when it had problems and things like that. Satellites don't need maintenance. Who knew? Who knew? Certainly not NASA that keeps having to repair the damn things or, like, bring them down. Who knew?
The Earth, that's as far as I know. But I know that there's an ice wall. I just don't know what's past it. I think that they could even go past it. But a guy named Admiral Byrd, he said, I flew to Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
It was ice. It's the ice wall. He saw the ice wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kept flying past it. And there was more land past the ice wall. And he said, it's the greenest grass he ever seen. So they might actually be hiding land past Antarctica, which Antarctica is a ring of ice. But you know, here's something to think about. The firmament, it's the shape of a rainbow. You know, how else are you going to explain all rainbows have that curvature? There's nothing. We all know that if you take a flat prism and you shine light into it, you get a straight rainbow that comes.
You're basically proving that the Earth is a globe. It's because the atmosphere is curved around the globe. What? Why is the rainbow curved? Because the Earth is curved. What? I don't, what?
Out of it. Okay. So how is there a curved rainbow in the sky? What's it reflecting off of to give it that curve? And not only give it a curve, but every single time you see a rainbow, it's the same shape. I'm telling you, that's a reflection off the firmament. The firmament is in the shape of a dome. So on the other side of the firmament, there's waters above and it separates the waters below. And that's right out of Genesis. You know, this stuff, it don't lead to your salvation. Only worshiping Jesus Christ leads to your salvation. But what I'm
okay, so raindrops, that it's curved because it refracts off raindrops at a specific angle. It forms a cone with the observer at one tip and the sun at the other. Only visible light reaches the observer. Okay, yeah, so it's light refracted after hitting spherical raindrops, which is why it is curved. What's a good picture? Because I did not know this. I thought it was just sort of the atmosphere was sort of around the Earth. Interesting. So let's zoom in on this a bit. Yeah, so apparently that is why it's curved, because the light coming from the sun refracts off the inside of the water droplets, making it show different colors at different sort of angles. That is cool. Okay, I feel like an idiot that I didn't realize that before. But, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. No, that's cool. That's science. That's awesome.
telling you is that kids ain't going to have a chance. They're going to be taught in these public schools that the Earth is 9 billion years old. That we come from monkeys.
Well, actually, they're going to be taught that it's like 4.6 billion, not 9 billion. I don't know where did this guy get the 9 billion from? I don't. Is it? You're not going to get taught that because that's not what we teach children.
And that the Earth spins around the sun. That's heliocentrism. I'm telling you, it's geocentrism. All the planets.
Okay, and this man is homeschooling his children. Just sit, let that settle with you a bit. This man is homeschooling his children with his facts.
All the stars and all the heavenly lights, the moon and the sun, they rotate around the Earth. And so that's what I'm going to teach my kid when he's homeschooled. Now, yeah, I'm going to also introduce him to this evolution. I'm going to tell my kid, look, you can believe evolution if you want, but here's what it is. I'm going to tell him, look, you can believe we came from monkeys if you want. That's what. And I'm going to even teach my kid who Neil deGrasse Tyson is. I'm going to teach my kid who Elon Musk is. I'm going to introduce my kid to all these evil, psychopathic liars.
Yeah, he's going to homeschool his kid with this freaking dogma. Yeah. True and not true, Eric. So we evolved from old world monkeys. Okay, so when they say we evolved from monkeys, you know they're talking about new world monkeys, like monkeys that we're familiar with, long tails and, you know, these sort of, you know, capuchin monkeys and all of those kind of monkeys, right? We're very aware of those. Old world monkeys are different. They're before monkeys and apes sort of split off kind of thing. So technically it can be true that we're evolved from monkeys, but we've got to sort of differentiate between the more basal simian forms and sort of what we are today. But that is kind of true. But at the same time, it's also completely misleading and conflating what we know as monkeys today with what we evolved from, which are not the same things. Absolutely not.
Because I want him to have his own discernment. I want people to do their own research, and don't take my word for it. I'm just telling you what I know is the truth. I'm not telling you to trust me. Go do your own research, and if you do your own research and you want to research the truth.
Yeah, so go to the websites that already agree with your religious point of view and you'll see that they say the same thing. That is not research. That is not research in any way. This whole thing of do your own research, I would never say that I'm a researcher. That has a specific meaning in science. And these guys want to equate like simply going out, watching YouTube videos and listening to their pastor as being research. And it's fucking not. Like, it's so bad. Like, it's like, we'll listen to misinformation. That's research. No, you have no methodology to show that what you are listening to is actually the truth. Whereas researchers actually do things to show that what they are actually doing is in fact demonstrable and falsifiable.
You will come back to Jesus Christ because Jesus Christ is the truth.
Brother, who knows of powerful people? If your position, flat earth, okay, of all the powerful people we have, presidents, political people, billionaires, who knows the earth is flat, according to your theories?
I think any of them that are pledged Freemasons, any of those high-level Freemasons, the Freemasons know it.
Okay, so NASA is just Freemasons, top to bottom, just Freemasons all the way down. Come on, dude, seriously? The UN, all Freemasons. China, Freemasons. India has a space program. Freemasons, all of them. Come on, dude. Seriously?
It's a fact. All Freemasons, when they get to that higher level, they know that the earth is flat. So all of these Skull and Bones members, for example, Kerry, Bush, anybody,
Kerry.
Yeah, any of these people at Skull and Bones, they're in on it, bro. They know. They've been revealed. They worship Satan. That's it. If they're Skull and Bones, they know. Now, not all of them, you know, but a lot of these people really know. And earlier we pulled up the United Nations logo. Mm-hmm. It's a flat earth map. You know, you can't make this stuff up.
No. It's the azimuthal equidistant map. That's what it is. The azimuthal equidistant map is a two-dimensional representation of a globe. Like, you don't even know what it is that you're looking at. That was not created by some flat earther. It was created by somebody trying to depict a globe in 2 dimensions. That's what it is.
They're putting it right in our faces, and they're deceiving our kids, you know. But like I said, it's important to know, why would they lie about all this stupid stuff? Because they do anything to get your kid away from Jesus Christ. They don't. The Satan wants to bring everybody he can to hell with him.
Yep. 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 Yeah, so an azimuth or equidistant map is not a flat Earth map. It literally has the lines of longitude for a globe. It's a projection of the globe in 2 dimensions. Like I don't understand. I really do not. Like, why they think they invented this map. You know, I think that the first ones came about in the 1600s from sailors who knew that the Earth was not flat. That we've known for ages that it's not flat. Yeah, no, I think the Freemasons are just a gentleman's club, you know, for guys wanting to hang out, smoke, and, you know, read about things. I think that there's just a way for them to get away from their wives most of the time. You know, I don't think. What has happened to my camera? Hello? 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 Slightly better. Yeah, so I don't think that, like, none of these claims have anything behind him. No more Bryce for a long time. No, I agree. I agree, Eric. I really want to thank you for sending it over, though. That was a ride and a half. That was actually hilarious. Like, I don't know. I varied between, like, being incredulously outraged at his lack of knowledge about, well, anything really. Part of me felt really sorry for him. And part of me was like, this guy is hilarious. Like, if this was a parody, it would be absolutely hilarious. So I have mixed feelings about this, but I weep for the education of his children, you know, really. Because he's gonna teach them that the Bible is absolutely true, and there's, you know, it's all scientifically proven what's in the Bible, and they're gonna have to face reality one day that, hey, just because you think the Bible's true doesn't make it true. And it's a problem for them because they hinge their faith in religion on a flat Earth. And I mean, flat Earth's in crisis at the moment because they can't explain why there's a 24-hour sun over Antarctica. I mean, they're trying. They still can't do it. Like, all of their sort of explanations just sound like excuses. And considering the most famous of them said there's no 24-hour sun, and now we've found out there is, they're in absolute crisis. Now, people like David Weiss and Nathan Oakley are just saying, well, no, we never said there wasn't a 24-hour sun. We said there was. They've been denying a 24-hour sun for years. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, yeah. Yep. And this is, you know, why you would listen to an MMA fighter for the shape of the Earth instead of an astrophysicist is beyond me. But the level of ignorance here is actually, it is stupefying, like absolutely stupefying. Yeah, no, totally. I get you. And I feel sorry for them, but what can you do? You know, I think that America needs better regulations for homeschooling and things. I know that Australia, for homeschooled kids, you have to adhere to the curriculum that is provided. Now, I have no doubt some parents will not adhere to that curriculum, but at least they're trying to regulate what these idiots tell their children, because this is awful, absolutely awful. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, so my thoughts, none of this was actually demonstrated. None of his claims were actually demonstrated. It seems like a lot of, well, oh, Eric, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. Oh, that is gorgeous, mate. Thank you. You just want me to read all of these out in a MMA announcer voice. I'll just wait till they're finished. This might take a while. Oh, we wanted to get if you could make sure you hit who are we trying to hit? We were trying to hit Andrew. Hit Andrew. Are we hitting Andrew? Oh, you hit the freak. Evil Toe. Absolute legend, right? Right, absolute legend. What a guy. Thank you so much, Eric. I really do appreciate it, mate. That is amazing. But a lot of his evidences aren't really, they're just sort of that, well, this thing is like this, and this says this. I mean, I couldn't believe that his thing of NASA was, well, if you rearrange the letters and add a T and an N, it spells Satan. That's not evidence. That's not even an anagram. That's an anagram plus letters. So absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So we've got Eric Wanda with 20 readerships. Stuart James, Foxy 555, Sterling Nash, Uncle Charlie, Jake, insert clever dapper inside joke here, Nelson, DJ Ratgirl, Tika, Darren Delaney, Al Trucker, Binge, Thinker, Jeff C, Jester, Lord of Shenaniganery, Nathiv, Atheist, Sabro, Cadabro, Captain Bot, wow, Blaster, Master 80, Mage Grey Wolf, Peter Guns, the Freak, Evil Toe, Maximiliano Isha. That's killed me. That killed me. No, you're all glorious. You're absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. But Eric, much appreciated, man. I was happy to do this and happy to receive your suggestion because it was wild and I really enjoyed it, actually. I got to admit, I enjoy this dumb stuff. I laugh. And, the flat earthers keep saying they're gaining traction. They're not gaining traction. They're really not at all. I'm a lot more worried about what's happening in the United States of anarchy right now, the United States of chaos right now than I am about like flat earth, because it's really going nowhere. And I love the final experiment. It just really did, put the old 1-2 into them. Awesome. But winners, chicken dinners, enjoy your emotes and other benefits. Thank you so much, Eric. Really appreciate it. Coming up, I'm going to be back over on Embers for the debate review on Saturday night Eastern time, Sunday morning my time. So I'll be back over there. Don't forget to look for me there. I will grab you the channel just in case you do need it and you're not subscribed to the lovely Ember, who is awesome and we all love. So yeah, if you do want to, wrong channel, that's the Book of Ember, which I go to as well. Better Than Ember. So do feel free. And if you do want to, please do give a like and subscribe. I thought this was great. This was fun. I liked him. He was fun. But wow, wrong. So very wrong about almost everything. Completely almost everything. Like, he didn't even get the age of the Earth that we say it is right. He went for 9.9 billion. No. 4.6 or 4.5 to 4. No. Yeah. Flat Earth. What you gonna do? But do take care. And be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up too much about these people and listening to them. It's fine. It's fine. We're all just having fun here. We're all just trying our best and trying to create a better world for everybody. So, don't be too harsh on yourself. You're not responsible for, what people teach their kids or, what your leader is doing. Be kind to yourself. You're not responsible for that, or you're not to blame for that. But do take care. Be kind to each other. Things might be rough over this year, so we do have to take care of one another because, if the government isn't taking care of us, and not everything the government does is bad. There's people working in certain departments that are trying to help people. They're just people too. There's other government's departments doing horrible shit, but, it doesn't mean to say that everything the government does is bad. Try not to look at things in black and white like Bryce here does, because everything is either good or bad and no middle. People are capable of doing good and doing bad. That's the thing about people. They're complicated. And so are you. But take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.